Hey, Darcy. Darcy's here. Uh,
Yay!
we're going to be playing with specifically Steph's Pier, but St. Angel Studios in general. And I'm so glad that you and I decided we would be using like whatever palettes we wanted featuring Steph's Pier because sadly I don't have my Steph's Pier here. I was filming with Wilhelmina and the little witch stole mine. That's
Well,
how good a palette it is.
I was
That
gonna say, can you blame her?
yeah.
Yeah,
The problem was I let her use it for her face for our review, and she went mad over that bottom row.
yeah.
So I think she just in leaving, she kind of just grabbed a bunch of stuff that she had been using and went. And oh, Manuela's here. How are you, Manuela? And so I mean, I understand. I would have slipped it into my dance bag too. But so I won't be using Steph's Pier today, unfortunately. But I have a video up. If you go to my YouTube channel, there's a video of me. Find out if I say it's drag queen approved or not. Martha Anastasia is here. Hello, darling. And
Yay!
yeah, stolen. She stole it. I'm going to be using Be the Gift. I'm also going to be using Friendsgiving because these are new to me as well. I'm also going to be using Over the Moon, which I haven't really, I have played with, I haven't played with a lot. And I'm also going to be You're a Gift. And I have others. Now, the problem that I have is I just did my big declutter. I got rid of 30 pallets. Well, Manuelo got 30 pallets.
Yes.
Not really. You were very good. You didn't take what you didn't want. But I there was also there were a couple of other little sixes that I love, and I put everything away to get it off the table, but I didn't put everything away organized, so I'm not sure where everything is. But I figure just with these four palettes alone, You're a Gift, Over the Moon, Thank Friendsgiving, and Be the Gift. Plus, I have the Together palette, which is still one of my favorites, and then there's a Fairy Tale. So it's not like I'm going to be suffering for makeup. But
Yeah.
we're just going to be playing and chatting. And how's the weather in BC?
It started to rain now, so it's trying to get rid of all that white garbage that we've got on us the last couple days. Yeah, so it's still cold, but at least we'll be able to go out and about and do things again, going outside without worrying about causing a traffic accident.
A lot, like it's not even that you get a lot of snow there; it's just that any snow there shuts the city down.
When I was younger, we used to get tons and tons of snow, and then after the year I graduated, it seemed like every couple years we would get some snow, and then for the longest time we had nothing for years and years. And now it's like every 2 years we'll get a huge, ginormous dump of white stuff, and then yeah, it shuts everything down. Apparently, Alberta was minus 49, and people were doing things like they were walking outside with their ramen, and they would lift up as they were lifting up the thing. It would freeze solid. It's just like, oh my gosh, I would die.
For a town, don't show people that happens in your town. No one will move there. Martha Anastasia bought 2 SAS palettes last week, she says. Which ones, Martha? M.A., Martha Anastasia. I hate to call you Martha because with the second hyphenation of Anastasia, you want to say both of them.
Call her M.A. We're Martha number 2.
And it's funny because Toronto, everyone's like, oh, Canada, it must be cold. Well, Toronto is further south than Chicago.
Yeah.
So we are warm. Like I think our wind chill the other day was maybe 20, maybe, but the actual temperature wasn't that low. And today I think we're almost near 0. And it's only going to get warmer. So, but I used to think when I was like a few years ago, I remember going, it used to be so snowy when I was a kid. There was snow on the lawn, snow on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And I realized they clear the snow like even right off the sidewalks in the city. They have those little bulldozers that go right on the sidewalk and they just take it all away. So almost by the time you get up to go to work, the snow is gone. If it was like an overnight thing, and that made a lot of sense to me because I just kept thinking It used to be snowy when I was a kid. When I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember being the kid from A Christmas Story, the youngest sibling, dressed up, and you can't walk because your mom's put you in that really big snowsuit and
That
everything.
was
And if
my
you
little
fall,
brother, Mark. My little brother was Randy. He lay there like a slug because it was his only defense.
yeah, no, that was
My
mine.
brother was so small, like he weighed less than the actual snowsuit. He was such a tiny little kid. Oh, Martha's here. How are you, Martha?
Hello,
And
Miss Enabler.
so funny because I was just this behemoth, and my mother was lucky to find me a coat that fit that was in the children's department, which meant she got it cheaper than an adult coat.
Yeah.
Even a small adult coat was almost twice as much as a large, X-large kid's coat.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when I was a kid, there were no real kids brands for clothing, and so what it all was like adult clothes. Like I would get jeans, but they looked like dad jeans, and a lot of plaid button-down shirts and things, not a lot of T-shirts with anything cool on them. And so I spent a lot of my younger years looking like a Mormon, and that was hard. But I've been doing a lot of catch-up. Canada's Drag Race just finished. Thank the baby, Jesus. Oh, not your basic. Steph is here. Steph, I need to apologize. I'm not playing with your palette today because I was robbed. My hateful, illegitimate drag daughter, Wilma the Box Farts, stole it. She was here yesterday filming with me, and I think she slipped it in her dance bag. The mistake I made was letting her use it, and I wish I had filmed her reaction to it, because not only did I show her all of the toppers on their own on my hand, but then I put the black that was in it on, and then I did it again over the black, and she lost her friggin' mind. And you have to keep in mind, Wilhelmina really, I could hand her any palette, go put that on your face, she'll be fine. She doesn't really, she's not, her heart doesn't start to beat when she hears mystery box or group discount bundle. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah. No, but this, if you would have filmed me too when I opened it, it was, it's.
Well, I remember, I'm sorry, but I remember how many years ago Steph actually using it on her channel. And at that point, I had just become an affiliate with Saints, Angels, Sinners. So I was getting stuff, and I thought, oh, she didn't send me that. And I said, oh, she probably didn't send me that because it looks very glitter heavy or multi-color heavy, which never offends me. But at the same time, I was like, oh, that looks like such a good palette. I wish she'd send it to me. And I had no idea of the trouble Darcy had to go through to get it into her hot little hands to mail out. So I didn't miss out at all. But she's got some new stuff coming down the pike. I'm so excited. But I have to say, I've never really experienced pre-orders or things like that. And I think it is so smart for small companies to do a first pre-order for the launch, so you can get it in, get it out, and then see if there's enough interest for a second order. Because I feel like a lot of companies put stock into their warehouse and it stays there. And that's where their undoing is. And
well, that's very 1970s, right? That was the thing. Warehouse.
Oh, yeah.
Then you end up stuck with all this product, and then all of a sudden it's $4.99 on sale, and you've devalued the product, right?
Yeah.
At least this way, you know what the demand is. You won't order too much. Hopefully you'll order, enough and maybe a little bit extra. And then that also helps to pay for it, right? When it comes. So I think for small brands, that's really good. One of my favorite clothing brands does that. Almost every release is a pre-order. Every once in a while, she does one that isn't. But her clothes, because they're so specialized, you never know what people are going to like. A pre-buy definitely helps know what it is. I just don't like when the wait's too long because I'm an impatient person. So
my first pre-order was with Glaminatrix, and it was awful. I kept my cool and calm because I'd never done it before, but they had a huge problem with their this one palette, and it was going to be we ordered it, I guess around January. It's supposed to be ready for March, and there was a problem with the formula because it kept breaking during shipping. So they reformulated it, which extended the thing for another month. And then it came from Australia, so that was almost another month of travel.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how antiquated sending anything that way is. And so by the time I got it, it was like, ugh, I don't care anymore. And then when I got it, after all that wait, 3 of the shadows had smashed. And the owner was kind enough to send me replacements. Like there was no problem.
Yeah.
Customer service. But it was just my having to wait for this thing to come in. It really kind of colored my opinion of the product. But also, the product itself really wasn't for a drag queen. Like, it was not their fault at all. Like, I don't disparage that company, and I think they have some great stuff coming out.
Yeah, but it just kind of dulls the shine of the excitement of the original purchase, right?
Yeah, I was very understanding. I wasn't, a bitch about it. I wasn't one of those people like, where's my fucking, give me my money back, it's none of that. But at the time, I do realize that that's not everybody. But that's why I try and keep that in my head. Like, it's not, there's 100 reasons why something cannot be happening. And you can only complain about it so long. Like, complaining is not going to make it happen faster.
No, for sure. And especially if it's not the brand's fault, right? So it's just to basically just having to be patient. And as long as the brand updates you to say what's going on, then that's fine, right? There's nothing worse than hearing absolute zero, asking zero, right? And then it's like, because I've had that with a couple brands where it's like weeks and weeks and weeks later. Then they finally tell you something, and it's like, okay, well, I'm bitter now. So
yeah, I don't care.
So what am I doing today? I had this problem last time. It's so pretty.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I feel so silly. I didn't even think to look until I was getting ready to come online, and I was like, "Where's that palette? God damn it!" Glenn LaRoche is here. How are you, Glenn? Using colors I don't normally use because I know how all the colors, all the greens and blues work. I have trouble using those.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm also sitting in front of my computer, which is rare. I usually sit over there, and I can't really see the computer because of all the equipment that's in the way. So at least today I can try and keep up on what's going on. Oh, I have. You know what? I just posted my review of Canada's Drag Race, the finale, and with Wilma Box Farts, which is why she stole my channel. But I still haven't seen this week's episode of America's Drag Race. I have to say, there's only one queen on America's Drag Race that. Where are my reviews, Glenn LaRoche? On my YouTube channel, the Wilma Fingerdo review. If you look up the Wilma Fingerdo review on YouTube, I'm the only one that pops up. I mean, there's lots of videos, but I don't think there are other Wilma Fingerdo drag queens in the world. It's not that unique a name, but it is definitely easy to find me on YouTube. And then and then you can see from there the reviews. I still have to do my Drag Race UK finish. I've got 3 more episodes to review, and I've written them and everything, and I actually filmed one, but the file didn't work. And yeah.
I enjoyed today's. It was very good. You and Wilhelmina are absolutely hilarious together.
Okay. It was funny because we've been doing double episodes, and by doing a double episode, there's so much that we're talking about. I had so much material for an outtake reel. And then as I was doing this last one, because we only did the one episode, we had outtakes, but there wasn't enough to do a separate reel. So I just included them in the credits as opposed to us just rambling on something. But that's one of my favorite things is the outtakes, because they still make me laugh. Like even though I know what we were talking about, it's just, Wilhelmina just makes me laugh so much. She's just so crazy. She's crazy.
Oh, I know. You guys are hilarious.
She'll steal your makeup palette.
That's the only downfall.
Oh, you didn't like Drag Race UK season 5? I didn't mind it because I quite enjoyed a lot of the queens that were on there. Like Ginger Johnson is my kind of queen, that old school queen. That's why on the new one for America, the Queen Plasma, she's. Oh, have you seen American yet at all, Chloe?
Because I can't get it anymore because I got rid of the channel. I watched via Trixie and the
Pit Stop.
Pit Stop. Yes, I watched the first episode. The second one is up. I just haven't had a chance to get to it yet. So I do want to watch that. So I quite enjoy the Pit Stop. So I really enjoyed. Well, I loved last year.
I really enjoyed Bianca doing it.
Yeah, I loved her.
But I'm not a huge fan of Jimbo, so I didn't watch the first one.
Well, I thought she was good on this episode. I think she's grown up quite a lot the last little while, so it was actually quite enjoyable to watch her. And I am a fan, but it was definitely more enjoyable to watch her. For sure.
Like I said, I think by the time it was All Stars 8 or whatever that Jimbo was on, I thought she'd mellowed a bit or something. She seemed to be less, more user friendly, maybe, not less. Yeah. Less conniving or whatever, but not a bad person, just not for me. But anyway, on this season of Drag Race, there's one queen named Plasma, and she's like a 1930s.
I like her.
So cute, but I don't understand why her name is Plasma. It's like it's a weird name.
She could have had a different vibe before, and then just kept her name because people knew her by it instead of rebranding, right? And just changed their aesthetic, maybe.
Okay, I just need to have a moment to talk about the formula that Darcy uses for Saints, Angels, Sinners, because I am using right now the Friendsgiving palette. And I'm using David's here. Hey, David. Hey, David. So I'm using the black in here, which is exquisite. It's so black, it's ridiculous. But I'm afraid of it because I don't want it to take over my look. But I also was looking for a medium, like a darker purple. And I'm mixing it with this mid-tone here. And that's when I'm getting this darker line.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it blends so well. I think when I was using Steph's Pure, I said I was tapping stuff on. And I thought, I even said, I think at the time, it's like I haven't even blended it. It's blended, like so whatever.
It blends itself, basically. Yeah. No, it's
Oh, you're right, Glenn. Plasma does give Lepsinka vibes for sure. Although I don't think Lepsinka dressed like her particular. Well, maybe she did, the big skirts and the tight bodices, but physically they look alike for sure. If they were looking for a queen to do the Lepsinka story, they could hire Plasma.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I think my favorite parts, anyways, of Drag Race is always the first episode where you get to see everybody, and then I like to see them walking down the runway, and then I like this, like when they do sewing challenges, and of course Snatch Game. So those are the episodes that I like the most. The rest of it is just, for me, is just filler in between those guys.
Yeah, I'm not, I have to say, I'm going to announce this officially, but I'm doing it now. I'm not going to review season 16 of Drag Race. I was going to, and my plan was to review episode 1 and 2 together because no one went home. But I realized it took me forever to finish Canada's Drag Race, and then I still haven't finished UK, and I just want to finish it so it's done Because I've had people, are you going to finish it? And it's like, yeah, sorry. And then on top of that, I've been sewing a lot. I'm starting to get people asking me to sew, and that actually pays my rent if I do enough of it. So I just thought, I'm just going to take a break from Drag Race because I'm not enjoying watching it anymore.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm not enjoying the show, but I'm not watching it to enjoy it. I'm sitting down, taking notes while I'm watching it, and then when it's over, I can't remember any of the queens' names or what happened because it's the next thing.
Yeah. So maybe a year off will get the joy back.
Maybe, I don't know, or maybe my channel will develop into something else. But like, people are, where are the sewing videos? It's like they're coming. Where makeup and movies? They're coming. I just need to. I just don't care. Do you know what I mean? Like that. I find a lot of the queens that are on the show repugnant. As people, like I just like, oh, you know, I wouldn't have you in my house. Why am I talking about you? And then, you know, I'm not saying as queens, as performing people, but as people, when you watch them interact and everything, it's like, ugh, I'm not a fan of you. And I just find it really starts to wear on my psyche. Like then I kind of go around tense. I was finding a lot of things about Canada's Drag Race were triggering me. Like I was, even in watching it, I was starting to get a little like, not angry, but, you know, bothered.
Well, like on today's episode, there was the one part we were like, oh, and then first up for the photo shoot was the winner of the last Canada's Drag Race, and then you mentioned their name, and I'm like, who's that? Who's that? I don't remember them. Who's that? What?
No, Lullaby, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, for me, it's too many of them. Yeah. I have enough trouble keeping the names of people I work with straight. Never mind having to try and remember 10 or 12 drag queens per season of 12 million versions of it, right? Because it's in almost every country now, right? So it's...
Yeah. And I figure if I just take a break from it, like, and let myself watch a season without reviewing it, I can just watch it.
Yeah.
Then maybe, you know, I'll start to see it again as fun. Or the other thing I'd like to do is try and think of a way to reformat how I do it, and in a way that I can do it. Like I tried even to do this thing called like This Week in Drag, where I was I tried to talk about as many shows as possible in one go.
Yeah.
But it became very involved. And I just was finding like other things aren't getting done. Like I've been talking about my latest makeup and movies since Halloween last year, and I still haven't filmed it. And I have this great interview that I did with a local comedian, Hunter Collins, who is a great comedian, but he's a lovely person. Like he's one of the few comics that contacted me while I was in the hospital to see how I was. And I wouldn't say that Hunter and I are close friends, but we're friendly for sure. Like I think we genuinely are pleased to see each other when we do. And I really enjoy working with him. Like he's not like there are trust me, with stand-up comics, there are some gross people in the world you don't want to work with. He's not one of them. But Paul's here. Hey, Paul. I filmed that right after I kind of came out of the hospital, and I still haven't really edited it. And so that's the next thing I'm editing. That'll be the next video that comes up, is the Hunter Collins thing. Because if I'm not doing Drag Race, then I'm going to do the other things. And so I'm going to do the Hunter Collins video and my next makeup and movies, which is Death Becomes Her. But then somebody asked me to do Valley of the Dolls, and then somebody else asked me to do Teresa Mulhern. We were talking about the Outsiders. Actually, we weren't talking about the Outsiders. She quoted the line "Stay Gold, Pony Boy." Mm-hmm. And I said, "Oh, I love that movie." And she said, "What movie?" Because she'd heard it somehow up some other way. And then I told her about the movie and who was all in it, and you know, well, one of Tom Cruise's earliest films, and Rob Lowe was in it, and Patrick Swayze, and Ralph Nash.
They're the original Brat Pack, or in the modern era, not the.
Yeah, and she was like, "What is this movie?" And so I'm doing that one as well. So I have 3 ready to go, but I also have others that people have said, "Oh, you have to do it." And one of the things I want to do is I really want to do my makeup in movies. I want to do films that I think influence drag in the gay community. Like that's why I've done like Betty Davis, a Betty Davis movie and a Joan Crawford movie, just to get like these are the references you children aren't getting on Drag Race. And that's the other thing. I'm sick and tired of these queens who don't know what anyone's talking about. I'm not saying you have to be a fan, but you should at least recognize what's being said to you.
Yeah.
And on top of that, none of them know how to speak or spell. You know what I mean? It's like, ugh, I find you all, this is the future of the world. I'm glad we're almost done. You know what I mean?
Actually, doing that Valley of the Dolls would go really good with the new Trixie collection that's coming out now. That kind of mod thing that she's got coming out. That would be fun to do that makeup with that Valley of the Dolls.
Well, and I have a couple of wigs that I could totally just pin up into a big 60s thing. Also, I worked on the Jacqueline Suzanne story, which was an autobiographical movie of Jacqueline Suzanne's life that Michelle Lee, who was on Knots Landing or some such thing.
Yeah, I remember her, yeah.
She produced it, and I had to recreate the bathroom scene, the fight between Suzanne Hayward and Neely. Who played Neely? Patty Duke. They have that famous scene in the bathroom where Patty Duke throws the wig down the toilet, and we had to recreate the costumes, and I love doing stuff like that. So, yeah, I'd love to do that movie. Also, because I don't think a lot of people now, like it was such a scandal when it came out as a book, and then, oh, thanks, David. David says, I think Wilma should do what makes her the most money first. Well, nothing I do makes me money. Let me just tell you that. Even when I'm sewing, I have to be honest, I don't charge a lot of money to sew because a lot of drag queens don't have a lot of money. But also, sewing is easy. Like, you know, like when I'm making somebody a costume, I am not reinventing the wheel. Like if somebody says, I want this costume, I'm like, okay. And then we talk about how we're going to make it. Like, do you want it to look exactly like that, or is this the inspiration? You know, and then I make it as difficult or as simple as I want.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I also, there's a great, she used to be a drag queen in Toronto. Her name was Bitsy. And now she designs fabulous costume jewelry. Her name, not in drag, is Alan Anderson. And he needs me to do some sewing for him. He has a new atelier and he needs some things. Oh, Lady Jenny's here. Watch your purse.
Yay!
But I like to, Alan Anderson has an aesthetic I love. Carlotta Carlisle has an aesthetic I love, which is vintage couture. You know, like when you say a Dior hat, I know exactly what you're talking about. And so Carlotta will come in and I'll say, oh, well, that needs a weighted hem. I'll order you some weighted rope. You know, like, because she goes, oh, maybe we should use curtain weights. Well, curtain weights are square. Let me get you weighted rope. And she's like, what is that? It's the same thing. It's just a rope. It's got little lugs in it, and it's just so it's not square and lumpy, and it just the rope cut it. But I love using that in costumes because not only can you sew it into a hem, but you can also baste it to the fabric so it doesn't travel in the hem because it could end up in you know, and stuff like that. So I just enjoy. I find when I'm sewing on things like that, it's almost meditative. Do you know what I mean? Because you're trying to make a flat piece of fabric look like this thing over here, and how would I do it, and how did they do it? And I love researching. And something that's really interesting to me right now is a lot of vintage couture, especially like Carlotta and I have been doing a lot of Audrey Hepburn dresses for her. And I mean, Carlotta, my joke with Carlotta is that you rarely see us in the same room because people think we're the same person. And, which is really flattering to me because I think Carlotta's gorgeous. But so we did an Audrey Hepburn dress, and like Carlotta's 10 Audrey Hepburns. Like, she's a tall, heavy girl. But she still looks good in that cut because I cut it to fit her. You know, Marilyn Monroe at her heaviest still looked like Marilyn Monroe because the costumes were made for her. They were trying to squeeze her butt into whatever everyone says is fashion. And like we call it's the fat Audrey. I call her Breakfast at Tiffany's dress. And it's like my wig that I have for Madonna. I call it the Fat Madonna. You know, it's just, there it is. But I love making that. And then when I see it on her, and it's like, I'm always so surprised at how not big Carlotta looks in drag because everything fits her, you know?
Yeah. I think that's the mistake a lot of people do, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you have to pay that extra few bucks to get something nipped in or pulled out or whatever, so that way it fits you, and it'll look way better. You know, you may think a smaller number is the ticket, but that isn't it.
Well, one of my sewing videos that will be coming up, she doesn't know it, but this is what's happening. Chloe's asked me to we call it cloning, but drop the pattern off the dress that she has. And there's 2 ways to do that. And I always go, do you need the dress back? Because if they don't, like sometimes somebody gives you a vintage piece that is starting to disintegrate.
That's what this one's doing.
Redo the pattern because this dress won't be around in another month or 2 or a year. And then other times people have a dress, this fits me so well, I want 20. And so you have one that's kind of starting to, it's so old.
Yeah, I tried it on the other day just to see if I wanted an extra inch or 2, which I do. And then as I'm pulling it down, it's like,
oh, heartbreak.
It's all in the same spot where around the belt. And then my friend lost the belt. So
no.
So I mean, it's just a simple one that just goes around behind your waist, but still it had these little things on the ends, but it's okay.
Vintage, right?
But the buttons, like use the buttons. If you need more lining, let me know. But there's the lining in the top is brand new. We'd put that in, but it's the bottom part that's ripping now. So it'll be. So I'm going to film that as a video. Oh, cool.
How do I copy a pattern?
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally this is how. And because it's a vintage dress, I don't want to take it apart because I'd like to ship it back to you as is as much as possible. So
if you can, but like I said, you can use the buttons, use whatever.
It's vintage. You know what I mean? If it were from the 80s, I'd go, yeah, fuck it. But it's a 30s dress. I'd rather it stay together as much as possible, just for the sake of going, this is a dress from the 30s. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have a couple other ones that are nicely in their bags and whatever, but yeah, this one was definitely the most delicate that I have. Yeah.
Alan Anderson has these gowns. Now, keep in mind the costume jewelry he does has been seen on Oscar red carpets. Like, it's not a $200 necklace; it's a $2,000 necklace, but it's not diamond. And I like that. I like that it's not diamonds. Like, so Alan as Bitsy had the same tastes that Carlotta has, which is just, it must be sumptuous. And so I did the he said, I have this gown and it's this fabric under this lace with this on top of that, and it's in its acid-free paper box, but I think that we should use that fabric for a jacket. And I'm like, yes! Fabric, but if you're not wearing the dress anymore, you're not doing anybody any favors. But if you can take that fabric, if you got yardage in a gown, that you will wear. That's better. Paul wants to know what palettes we both are using. So first of all, Paul, we're using St. Angel's Sinners. Darcy, who you'll see in there, is the owner of them. I'm using a couple. The ones I'm using right now are recent ones. I'm using You're a Gift. I'm using Friendsgiving. And I'm using Be the Gift, which is the bigger Christmas palette of Your Gift. I'm assuming. I didn't ask Darcy. And then I'm also using Over the Moon. And then you're using the big, and a bit of this, the fairy tale.
Yeah, and then I'm just
so the big beauty using, there.
Yeah, and I'm using
stuff here.
Well, I have, so there we go. I brought out all the other ones in case I wanted to pull out another color. Then I thought I could use all my other St. Angel Sinners, but this one is doing its own thing. So I'm good.
Betty Q was saying that my That's So Wilma videos, which I haven't done for a couple of years, she said that they prompted her to take a dressmaking course. Well done, Betty.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's why I'm taking a break from Drag Race, Betty, is to do those videos, because I'd much rather do those videos. I was saying to Chloe a while back, I edited a couple. I did an unboxing. I did using the Steph's Pure palette, and I did a palette declutter video. And the thing I loved about editing those videos was it just was editing footage. I didn't have to add stuff to it. Do you know what I mean? And add a picture that related to what I was talking. All the stuff that I do for Drag Race, it was like so much faster. So I'm going to be doing more of those. And I think the first one I'm going to do to test it is I'm going to show how I make gloves. Because I made Carlotta these Tiffany blue opera length gloves, and she wore them. She was in the bar she was performing in, not 5 minutes, and 3 queens were like, "Where did you get those?" Because it's hard to find gloves anyway. But when you've got big man hands and man arms, you can't get an opera glove to fit your arm. Like, it's not going to happen. So, and I just love that there are queens out there that are like, "Oh my God, like that's hard to find. Where did you get that?" And so I love putting a video out, because I think it's important to show people how to do stuff on their own, but it doesn't mean that you're giving anything away. Because lots of people still can't. Like, you can show someone to cook, but if they have no skill for it, how good's the cooking?
Oh, for sure. No, for sure. Well, I'd like to take a sewing course too, but out here they're so expensive.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try and break stuff down into a course, because something else that's happening this year, I actually have to call them. The TV show on Out TV called So Fierce is done by the people that do Knock Knock Ghosts. So I know everyone. And it was funny, I was watching them one day, and they, because I quite enjoy the show. I mean, I wish they had more money, but that's coming down the line. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's not Project Runway, but the thing that I love about it is that it's not just people that make drag costumes. These are alternative sewers. Like, they do cosplay costumes, and these are things that you just can't get anywhere. Like, it has to be made. You have to know someone who does that, and I think it's such a great advertisement for the skill, but also I think it also encourages people to realize you can do this too. But on the show, they don't spend a lot of time with the drag queens that model the outfits, but they do have drag queens come in and wear the clothes for a photo or for a runway reveal. And in getting ready for that, they have their wig stylist there, who they shoot talking to each of the queens about wigs. And the wig guy will show them a wig. I'm thinking this, I'm thinking that. They're like, "Oh yeah, that'll work." And then they have a makeup artist, and Rude Cosmetics, who I just got a mystery bag, a Christmas bag from, that I was very impressed with. They're the makeup sponsor for So Fierce. And the head makeup artist goes around and shows them the palettes that she'll use for them. And so I think these are great moments. But I said to Kyle, the producer and the editor and filmer, he does everything. Kyle does everything. God. So I was talking to God, and I said to him, these are great. I love those conversations, but nobody tuning into this cares about wigs or makeup. They're all sewers. So your host, the host of the show, I can't remember her name, she's a drag queen, but she also sews, and she's made a lot of costumes for Priyanka, who was the season 2 winner of Drag. And I said, she's a sewer. Why don't you have her do a sewing tip every week? And I said, like, it would be simple. She could just, she could write 10 of them down. She could film them all in one morning.
Yeah.
Sewing. She could just do them all, then you break them into the episodes. And he said, why don't you do it? And I was like, what? And because he had asked me to do, he said, oh, we're short somebody to come review the show. Can you come? And I said, well, I don't have anything to wear, because all the costumes that I wear right now are from the waist up, because I'm only on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I'm fits me right now. Everything's too big, and I have to recut everything. Thank God, because I hate everything I own. But and that's another reason I'm taking a break from Drag Race, so I can make myself some clothes, and people can stop judging me. No one's doing that. There's moments where I feel like I'm judging all these queens, and how dare I say, "Oh, that outfit didn't look very nice, and this doesn't fit me." You know.
Hey, I've been judging people since 1969. Come on.
And you do such a good job. Witchy's here. How are you, doll? I'm assuming you're from Beverly Hills because it's 90210. Witchy 90210. But anyway, so yeah, so they're gonna have me on to do one judging, the first episode judging of whatever's being made. And then on that day, I will then film all these tips. And then on top of that, it'll be a great advertisement for me and my channel, which I want to do some videos before I'm on so that I at least have some. I don't want to be one of those queens that you go, oh, and 6 years since they put anything up because they've gotten lost over in TikTok land or wherever.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Debbie wants to know, Chloe, what's that beautiful metallic you're using on your eyelids?
Right now, the green one, it is, what's the name of the shade? Hold on, Old Lady Eyes. It says Simply the Best. As in
Nice.
Oh, there, that one. Right there.
Oh, yeah, that's gorgeous. That's from the Steps Pier palette.
Yeah. It's gorge.
Yeah. But I just want to. The thing I'm finding for myself right now is that I'm not doing anything that I want. Like I've been trying to make myself a new pair of eyelashes for the last month, and I made a pair, but I gave them to Wilhelmina because she really needed a new pair. And then I kind of made a quick pair for myself, like just stacked some, and they're fine. It's what I'll be wearing today, but it's not. You know, you need to. I need to just focus on myself a bit.
Well, I have a ginormous pair coming to you. Hopefully this weekend I get to ship it out.
Oh, fabulous!
Yeah.
Chloe, I'm so sorry that mystery bag from Jolie.
Oh, that glitter palette, Jesus. Like if you're putting together a mystery bag, most people buy mystery bags because they usually don't have a lot from the brand. That's the perfect way to try a new brand. I still cannot tell you if their eyeshadow's any good because they didn't send me any.
Yeah.
Complete glitter palette. It's like, what the hell? I would have preferred the whole neutral palette. At least then I could tell you if the shadows were good or not, right? You could have put some neutrals down and then whipped out a shimmer from here, from this palette and be good, right? But no, a whole pile of glitter.
That's a shame. But then, the thing with the mystery bags for me, which is why I'm kind of okay now. Like my urge to buy out at the mall has been quelled because I keep remembering as a drag queen, like 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be for me.
Yeah. Oh, no, I almost bought myself one of the St. Angel Centers ones. I was looking today because, that's going to be all hits, no misses. But it's like, because if something else comes out, because I want that bag. I want that bunny bag that Darcy
cute.
Yeah, so I want to buy that when it comes out. So I thought, maybe then I'll stick something else in. But
Darcy sent me this one.
Yeah, that one's awesome too.
It's so cute. It has the strap so you can put it on your carry-on.
Yeah.
It's a hard case, and it opens into 2 sides. And I have in it no makeup whatsoever. All I have in this is my wig styling stuff.
I thought I could use it
behind the thing, and then I have all of my hair clips and pins, and I also use my makeup bags.
My makeup bags in the purse. In my purse.
Yeah, but I don't put makeup in them. These have clips and pins and things in them because I find makeup bags. This isn't like it's not a St. Angel Centers thing. It's a makeup bag thing. My hands are too big to go in and out of them and look for stuff.
Mm.
So it's just for me. It's a expedience thing. Like I need too much makeup to put in a small bag like that.
Yeah.
Once it's full, I can't get my hand in it to get them out anyway. So
Yeah. No, once I buy that case, then I thought I could use that to store my St. Angel centers in.
yeah.
Have it all in one place.
Paul wanted to know what the copper was you're putting on.
So the copper one is called, is it pumpkin? Hold on, blind as a bat.
Oh, I love that
Yes.
shade.
Yeah, the pumpkin shade. Yeah. You can put some more of that along the front.
Steph, I was saying earlier that I was showing Wilhelmina, my drag daughter, and Thief, the palette, and showing her what a topper was, because I was trying to explain to her, because she was putting on some eyeshadow, and I was like, oh, why don't you just put a topper on it? What's the, oh, well, it doesn't, it just adds to whatever you're doing. It doesn't cover it. And then I showed her that bottom row in your palette, and I put them all on my hand, like as was. And of course, Willoughby's like, ooh, for each color. And then the other thing was, because she's not as makeup savvy, like she more or less just uses what I give her. And so I was shifting it, and the colors that she was seeing, she's like, oh. And then I took the black eyeshadow in there and put it across the back of my hand. And then I swiped each one of them across the black to show her what the difference was. Like, you can use this on black, and the colors, oh my God. And I wanted to do that today. I wanted to do a heavy black eye and put the things on, and I'm so sorry that I let her steal it.
See, you could have told me, and then I could have done that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. So
But,
I'm just mucking around.
Witchy ordered a bunch of stuff from Mood Cosmetics.
They're so good. They're so good. I'm really loving that cleansing balm. It smells like I'm going to Hawaii every time I do my face.
Yeah. Yeah, I like them as a company. Like, I always say that they're like ColourPop if ColourPop wasn't so gross.
Yeah.
Because I just find ColourPop, like, they're just like a whore. They're just a whore of makeup, makeup.
Well, and it's crappy quality too. If it was good quality, I wouldn't say anything.
This is what makes me mad, is sometimes they do a good one.
Yeah.
So you are capable of making, because they make it all in their own lab. Like, they have their own, their lab also makes the Kylie lip kits. And so you're clearly able to make good makeup, so you just don't? Like,
Yeah.
You bastard.
Yeah, the new KKW or whatever makeup just came out. 1,000 shades of beige. It's like, oh my God, there's like 6 or 8 beige lip crayons and palettes. And it's like, how many shades of beige does any one person need? Like, but she keeps releasing brown palettes over and over and over. Makes me crazy.
Who are you, Natasha Denona? Calm down.
Yeah, same thing too. Somebody sneak peeked something from the new Pat McGrath, and I'm like, let me guess, pink?
Yeah.
But it did have one. It had a blue in there. Shocking.
Oh, nice. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I wish I liked Pat McGrath. I just find it too monochromatic.
I just like her lipsticks. Her lipsticks have a whack of those. Those
right?
I really like. Yeah, I know her. If you want a beautiful lipstick, oh yeah. She's the first one in a while that I've actually used a full lipstick, and I've got another one going.
Oh, is that right? Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Oops.
I'm trying to. It's so funny. I don't normally have my lights set up like this, so they're actually good for the camera. But the way they're set up, I don't have a lot of light on my face for this mirror.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, I can't really see what I'm doing. What am I doing?
I never know what I'm doing. I just slam shit on my face. No, for the best.
I used to do stand-up, Paul. Paul wants to know what we do during the day of brain entertainment. I used to do stand-up, and, I'm an actor and all that, but I developed type 2 diabetes during lockdown, and I'm having trouble walking now. So I actually have just been resigning myself to the fact that I probably will never perform on a stage again, just because I don't have the stamina to stand that long. Which is why I don't mind focusing on sewing, because I can sit when I do that.
Well, if you put together a professional sewing course where people gotta pay, I'd pay for that.
Yeah, yeah, I want to do something like that, where, like, develop like a little online 4 course, or 6 course or something. Also,
Yeah.
Carl Brown, who's a fantastic hairdresser, he does online courses, and I really enjoyed his, and the way it was kind of worked out. So I would like to give it some thought, really thought.
I need one sewing for an idiot.
Yeah.
I can do basics, but
one of the videos I did early was how to buy a machine, and it was so funny because I had this yard sale that happened. It's weird. It happens every weekend around the corner from my house. They're there every Saturday and Sunday if the weather's good, and they have a Kenmore sewing machine which makes the Janome, which I have. It's Kenmore's company, and I think it was $30. That's a good price. 35. And I told them why I was buying it, and they were so excited to see the video after, because it wasn't their sewing machine. Somebody had asked them to sell it for them.
Yeah.
And the fun thing was, it was a good machine to buy at a yard sale, because it was I didn't even unpack the box that it came in until I shot the video. So I could say, this is what you want. And I said, this is what you wanted. And then I think I pulled it out and they had it. And it was very impressive. But I've had people say how helpful that video was, just because, if you're starting something like sewing, you don't know what to work in a machine. You don't know what kind of sewing you're going to fall into. It's like, what if you start crocheting and you end up becoming more interested in knitting? You don't buy everything right away.
No, I was lucky. I was mentioning it. I was at my friend's house. I'm like, no, I think I want to go look for a sewing machine. And then my friend's mom had bought one at Sally Ann for, I think she bought it for $50, and she sold it to me, I think, for $30. Wow. And it was brand new in the box, never been used. When you pulled out that little drawer, all the things were still wrapped in its original plastic. Never been touched. So nice. I want to say Singer. Hold on. Yes. It's the Singer Simple.
Do you know what year?
So, no, but I don't think it's that old. I mean, I know there's newer ones than the one I have, because if I go into Michael's, they have newer models of it. But I would probably say it's got to be at least 10 years old, I would say.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing with Singer. Singer is like the MAC Cosmetics of sewing machines, where it was a great, solid Canadian company that made excellent machines. And still today, if you can find a metal one, buy it. Even if you don't, you can sell it to a sewer for a lot of money, because they're so hard to find.
Somebody has one from 1910. Black. It's the heavy duty one. I want it so bad, but they want it for like $500. I'm like, oh.
That's a bargain. That's a bargain.
I know, but it's not $500 that I got at the moment. But it's so beautiful, and it's like, and it's a heavy duty one, right? And that's where I struggle sometimes with some fabrics. I need something a little bit more heavy duty, or if I want to repair my coat or whatever, I can't really do it in mine, right? Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a little bit above my pay range at the moment. But if my lotto ticket tonight comes in, then I'll go buy it.
But also, if you're not using it, like, at least a couple times a week, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I want to. Everything else comes in it, in the way. So I just find it hard to do that, but I'm getting there.
Yeah.
A lot of fabric that needs something to happen with it.
Oh, Kenmores are great. You got it at Sears before they close. That's a great machine. I have 3 sewing machines, and I only use one. I have a Janome that is plastic, but it's one of the old ones. and you can tell it's an old model because it does a stretch stitch. It also does a Marcel stitch, which is a zigzag with a couple of stitches in between it. And the Marcel is great for sewing like elastic into a leg, like say for underwear or bathing suit. You can wrap the elastic in the fabric and then do the Marcel stitch over top of it. It still allows it to stretch. But a stretch stitch is great for seams on Lycra or anything that stretches. But here's a tip for free. Here's one of my tips. If you're sewing and you're afraid of your seam breaking, like I'm not using it in stretch fabric, for instance. You know what I mean? I'm afraid this will stretch and break my seam. When you're done, break the seam. Pull that seam. If it's an inside leg or the underarm or something, pull it and let it break. And then where it's broken, stitch. It will never break again. Because all the tension's off of it. Yeah. You just back stitch on the one end where it broke, stitch to where it broke on the other side, stitch it, just back stitch it, and you'll never have that problem.
Nice.
Yeah, that's just for anybody. You don't need the stretch stitch in a machine, but it's really helpful for like dance costumes and things like that. But yeah, see, clearly I enjoyed sewing. I can't get some of these tips out of my head.
So yeah, you have to do a course in that. I would definitely.
And also, when people say, "Oh, I wish you would do this," it's like, "Oh, it kills me," because it's like, "I wish I did that too."
Yeah. No, I hear that.
And then also for me, the idea of filming everything in a like over my head, like so you can see my hands. I tried to do that with my camcorder. I have a camcorder that I use for my side-eye cam when I'm reviewing Drag Race, and it's cheap, so it doesn't. It flickers if the light's too low, and you know. And so I was trying to position this thing. It's just But the thing I film on this here is a Brio webcam.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Not big, and so it's also on an articulated arm right now that's attached to my desk. Because I don't often use it here. It's always on my tripod to film my reviews.
Yeah.
I can take this over there, attach this articulated arm and my webcam to it, organize it so it's over my table and not close, so I'm not bumping it or it's not in the way of what I'm doing, and then I can film. So I finally kind of like, that was one of the reasons I wasn't doing a lot of the That's So Wilma ones, because the ones I did do were ones I could talk to camera on. And like I remember I did a video on how to make your own eyelashes, and I had the camera over me, and it was just film. It just took forever to film, and it's kind of been.
I saw that video on the lashes. Yeah.
What's that?
I saw that video on how to make the lashes. That was
yeah.
Nice.
I have two. I have one to do it like just for drag queen lashes, and I have another to make the Halloween lashes.
I think the one I saw was the drag queen one.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have seen both of them, but the drag queen one for sure.
I'm using my NYX liquid liner. I've been trying to find a good liquid liner pen. I don't mind the Beauty Moon Cosmetics one, but I use such heavy makeup that no matter really what pen I use, it clogs. Well,
I should try. Maybe I should order one for you from a brand that I like and send it over to you.
All right.
I'll do that. And then then I'll wait to send the package, and then I'll do that. They're Amaterasu, my favorite liner of all time.
Is that right?
Yeah. So then it'll be an excuse for me to buy myself one.
Well, I don't mind a liquid liner, but I just find the pencils are of no use to me, and then a lot of the pens just I get one or two good swipes in, and then nothing.
Yeah, no, the Amaterasu one, I sent one to Sylvia in the Netherlands a year ago, and it's still working.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what I told her. I said, if you need another one, let me know. I'll send you one because that's what they do with me too. I usually go through one, maybe two a year, depending on how much I use it.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it's my favorite.
Well, and then my thing is I always set my eyeliner with powder, so it doesn't, because I have very hooded eyes. I don't want that eyeliner over everything.
Yeah.
But also, I like to set my liner with like a matte black that has shimmer in it.
Mm-hmm.
Darcy sent me a fantastic palette that is from Ace Beauté, which I love. They're a fabulous company, and it's the Smoky Rose.
Yeah,
And
I saw that in your video. Yeah.
very, I can tell you how obsessed I am with this palette. It is so neutral. Like if you looked at it, you go, "Oh, Wilma would hate that."
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the neutrals I can use for my eyebrows, there's also some great neutrals for highlight areas without it being white. But
Yeah.
the best thing also is there's a black in there, matte black with a shimmer. It's a very light dusting of silver shimmer.
Yeah.
As you all know, when you brush on that, the shimmer just disappears. But
Yeah.
if you place it on your eyeliner, like pat it down on your eyeliner, it'll set with the shimmer. And then you
Nice.
get this added extra little glimmer around your eye, which I love. So that's been my new thing.
Well, that's why I was so surprised that I love that Prados one so much. Like I was just like, it's mostly very neutral, but I find it's the neutrals for people who don't like neutrals, and I just adore that palette. Like it's.
But they're really good neutrals. Like I think because they're an indigenous company, their neutral palettes are still very bold.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, totally.
You know?
And they're like the St. Angel Sinners where they just blend themselves. You put it on your eye and it's blended. You're like, what just happened?
Yeah, what just happened? What's happening?
Yeah. So that mystery bags from Jolie Beauty might have been crap when it came to palettes, but this blush and this highlighter,
Yeah.
that at least that was a win in there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, Steph says they're a really good company. It's too bad that they sent you a glitter palette. Like the formula, she says their formula is really good.
I just find it ridiculous. Like, if you're going to put in the mystery box and you want people to try your products, you should put something in that most people would use. And so many people don't like glitter. So I don't understand why they had to put glitter in.
Well, maybe that's why they did. People don't like glitter, and they're cleaning their shelves.
Yeah, no, exactly. So that's the only thing I thought it could be too. Would be like a shelf cleaner because who would do that? Like, I just don't understand.
No
Add glitter, or at least put a quad of something else in, or something that you can put underneath and then put the glitter on. But no. So yeah, I can't even tell you if they make good eyeshadow or not. Oh, there it is.
I'm also trying. I'm not doing it today, but I'm trying to teach myself to use my left hand for my left eye, because when you do your angles this way on you know with your dominant hand on that eye, they're fine. But then when you try and go around and you can't get that angle just right, it's so annoying.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. So I've been trying. I'm slightly ambidextrous in that I can do almost anything except write with both hands. When I was a kid and we had to take like hockey classes and that, I could play either. Like I could play right-handed or left-handed, and it was so annoying because all of these people when I was a child wanted me to be this sports person. I had a geography teacher who wanted me to be on the football team, and he was going to bribe me. He tried to bribe me by saying, "I'll give you bus tickets for the year if you get on our team," because I was a bee. But it's like, no, I'm Fernando the bull. I just want to sniff flowers. and hockey too. It's like, oh, get you on the defense line, and I just don't care.
Yeah.
I also don't care about those sports to watch them. I mean, let's be honest. I'll watch football because of the tight pants. I spend a lot of time going, "Don't stop 42, woohoo, 42," or whoever.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't like hockey, because the costumes are too baggy. You don't see anything. And those hockey players are high cardio. They are tight.
Mm-hmm.
They are tight under those big padded costumes. I call them costumes because a uniform, you usually have a gun.
Yeah.
But I've only seen a hockey game live once or twice. A friend of mine's husband worked for the Maple Leafs, and every once in a while, he asked me if I wanted to go to the game. And the answer was always no, but any live event is always fun.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, it's
were
fun.
really
Yeah.
good. So I always had, like, I had a partner who was into hockey. I had, family members, friends that were into, like, Wilhelmina was on a gay hockey league. And
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah, so there was always somebody that I could say, oh, do you want to come to the game?
Yeah.
It's the Leafs game. Like, I've never seen anything do so well that fails so often. I don't care what it is. Sports, movies, I don't care. But but yeah, I was always so fascinated with how much support the Leafs got, even though they weren't very consistently good.
I'm from the town of the Canucks, so
Wow.
you're
Well,
preaching to the choir there, sister.
yeah, and when people say to me, "Oh, the Leafs," it's like I don't know. I couldn't tell you a Leaf.
Yeah.
There's a commercial in Toronto right now where somebody's on the subway and their phone rings, and it's just because our Toronto transit system now has 5G internet connection underground. So when you're on underground, you should be able to log in and everything. And there was just this very annoying little Dutch boy, is what I call him, because he had this long, weird blonde hair to here, and he was in a bit of a suit, and he's on his way to the game, but he's wearing a suit. I'm thinking, who goes to the game in a suit? And then I was watching it, and I thought, oh, I bet you he plays hockey. Like why else would this idiot be on there having his mother and girlfriend call him about his tie? And there it was. He's not only a Maple Leaf, but one of the good ones right now. And that's how long it's been since I've even seen a game. I couldn't tell you anybody that plays on the Maple Leafs anymore. I don't know anyone.
Yeah, me neither.
I know me the last name I could tell you.
Yeah.
You know. But I'm not into sports. I always said to people that, Drag Race was my Super Bowl. So if you're going to talk about sports around me, I get 10 minutes of Drag Race talk.
There you go.
Yeah,
No, the only thing I like.
Your hole.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like sports either, but like one of my ex-bosses would always get for the Giants, and they're like the junior hockey team where they'll sometimes pull from to become a Canuck or whatever. Right. And they'd be absolute bloodbaths. We went to one game because I went once with my dad because he loves hockey, and then my friend Jesta loves hockey. So I'm like, okay, I got tickets again, come with. And then we went. And the section we were in, they were brutal. So there was one girl, I guess her brother was on the team, and we were playing New York, I think. And they were so mean to him. And then she's like stood up in the middle of the thing, and she's like, "That's my brother." And she's like bawling. And then they at her even harder. And I'm like, oh my God, they're beasts out here. It was just like, and then there was fights every 2 minutes. There was literally blood on the ice. It was like, that was like the craziest game I'd ever.
Well, and then on top of that, these are usually the people that are the diehardest fans are usually the less fit, gross examples of humanity, and they're acting like they helped win. It's you fat, ugly slob, shut up. Like, can't you just enjoy the game like people enjoy stuff, or do you have to be an ass?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I hate it when gross people are gross. You know what I mean? I like to be surprised by gross people who are elevated, or elevated people who are then gross,
Yeah. Because then it's mostly just like a sarcastic comment or something, very dry. But no, they were.
Well, but then you get that mentality with some of the Drag Race fans. Their favorite didn't win, or somebody they got kicked off, and then they start sending death threats to some.
You comment that their makeup palette is crappy, and they all come after you, like poor Teresa. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I don't have time for people like that. Yeah. That's another reason why I'm happy to step away from Drag Race for a while. It's like, ugh. I was on Canada's Drag Race, one of the guest judges was one of those gross people from a Real Housewife show.
Yeah.
And first of all, they're not real housewives. They wouldn't know how to run a house if their life depended on it. And I always say that these housewife shows are the reason that we have Karens in the world now. And on top of that, Andy Cohen, who gave us this bullshit, is a dick. I hate him so much. He's just so gross. And so I said as much. And then Wilhelmina said that she hates the fact that because she's gay, people just assume she watches it. And she's like, no, I would never watch that. Crap, you know. And somebody left a comment who leaves comments, and they're always good. And they weren't mean about this one, but they went on a bit of a extended rant about how this housewife was an ally, and well, she has a very successful cabaret show, and she knows how to perform, and so her insight is valuable. I said, in my mind, I didn't say this to him because I didn't want to escalate anything, because, you know, I said what I thought, he's just saying what he thought. And at the end of it, I said, oh, good points, thank you, and that was the end of it. But let's just be honest, nobody's going to see this idiot in her cabaret act if she's not on a housewife show, because the people that are going to see her show are those gross people that love that kind of lowest denominator of human existence. And I don't. Oh, hey, Tim. He says, I'm trying to be all smart and talk about exotic sports, but the more I think about it, the more I realize there has never been a game I would go to a second time. I would watch soccer and I would watch football because, hello.
Well, soccer's the only sport, and it's a real sport.
It really is. And
fight me. Yeah.
I have to say, I've seen the only basketball game I've ever watched has been in movies. Adam Sandler has an excellent basketball film on Netflix, and it's like a love letter to the sport. All these names are in it, cameos. It's a really good show. Queen Latifah did a basketball movie called Just Right, W-R-I-G-H-T.
Yep.
Excellent movie. And then Whoopi Goldberg did a basketball film called Eddie. It was excellent, but I wouldn't know any of these basketball stars if it weren't for those movies, because I don't watch the game. I can't tell you how to play basketball. I don't understand it, and I don't care. But I also don't go on a rant when people talk to me about it and say, well, you shouldn't watch that. Like, it's, I don't care. You know what I mean? Just watch what you want.
Well, you guys can't smell it, but the St. Angel Sinners perfume is excellent.
Oh, is it gorgeous? I'm sure it's gorgeous. Why wouldn't it be gorgeous?
It is. It's very citrusy. And if you like citrus, then yeah. So I'm all about either really warm or very citrusy ones. Right. So I was very happy when I opened it. I was like, yeah, that smells delicious.
Yeah, you're a perfume girl, right?
Yes. I don't wear it as much as I should. Like, I have so much of it, but I do like it a lot.
My mother developed smell allergies, like, you know, environmental allergies. So I used to love wearing cologne, like a lot. My favorite was Salvador Dali did one that was just gorgeous, and then Jean-Paul Gaultier did one that was stunning. And I couldn't wear it around her, which was fine because, you know, I didn't spend a lot of time around my mother anyway, but it got me into the habit of not wearing it. This was also at that time that everyone was putting those perfume samples in magazines and making them all.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
It was disgusting. And so now if I go into get into the elevator and I can smell cologne or perfume, it makes me nostalgic because I remember when you could smell everything. The cologne chaps, Ralph Lauren's chaps.
Yeah.
Makes me think of gay bars in the 80s because that's what everyone wore. You know, like that was part of the smell of a gay bar was chaps and stale beer.
Or Paco Rabanne was always my favorite.
Dracarn Noir. Oh,
if I was in a mall and somebody was wearing Pac Rabanne, it would be like, follow. It's always
that one there's got some skills in life.
that. Oh, and I really liked from Chanel. What is it? A Giste? Yeah, that was really good too. Or Chanel for Men. I really liked.
I actually loved Chanel No. 5. I mean, it was a very old lady smell and perfume.
No bueno. My mom tried to wear it for a while, and I think it doesn't go with her body chemistry.
Yeah.
Lord, my dad and I would be like roll down all the windows in the car. It took her forever. Like we were like, stop wearing it. But she's like, but I like it. And I'm like, but it doesn't like you. Stop.
Doesn't like you.
So yeah, no Chanel No. 5. I think that is stinky.
Yeah. It's got a very old lady perfume smell for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some kind of note in there that that gives me a headache.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do we think?
I think you look gorgeous. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm almost there. I'm just going to put my contour on and then.
Oh, yeah.
But, oh, did you? I wanted to ask you this because I haven't really talked to anyone about it, but have you been following any of the Color Purple drama?
No.
So, one of my favorite actresses, Taraji P. Henson, is doing PR for the Color Purple. Now, at first, when I heard they were doing the Color Purple, I'm like, can't anyone do an original thing? Do we have to remake movies?
Oh, makes me nuts. Yep.
Well, but then I found out, oh, they're making a movie of the musical. So that, okay, all right, that's different. But Oprah was producing it with Steven Spielberg and Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
And that's all fine. And they're doing all this PR, and then poor Taraji P. Henson is on Gayle King's show, and I remember hearing before I watched the before I really knew that the movie was going on, that Taraji had almost turned down the film, and Oprah was really adamant about her doing it, and I didn't realize why. But she at the time it was down to not just money, but being a woman of color in film and having to always every time she goes to the table for a film, it's like she's never done a movie. They want to pay her this low rate, and it's like oh, I can't think of her name. Oh, she's such a great actress. I hate when I forget names. She was in How to Commit Murder.
Oh, was it Viola Davis?
Yeah, Viola Davis. So she was on something a while back saying the exact same thing. She said they call me the Black Meryl Streep, but every time I come to the table to talk about a movie, like it's like, well, where's the Meryl Streep money?
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of people say, oh, how selfish of these actors to want to be paid millions and millions. It's like, well, they're not alone. They have to pay first of all, half it goes to taxes right away. So if you get 10 million, 5 million you don't see, and then you have to give 10% of that to your agent, and then you have a publicist, and then you have people that you pay when you're on the red carpet season and stuff like that. So you're doing stylists and makeup artists and wigs and all of that. And, it adds up. But on top of that, the money these movies make, why shouldn't the actors be able to get paid,
Oh, for sure.
And like for a movie that had $100 million budget, yeah, she has a point. But then the funny thing was, I saw the movie. Flash forward to, I saw it. It's not a good movie. But they're blaming Taraji and Oprah for this kind of feud for killing it, because it had a great Christmas weekend opening, and then nothing. I'm using for blush the Blend Buddy Juicy Cheeks palette.
Nice. Yeah, I like that.
This is what Teresa Mulhern sent me. It's gorgeous.
It is.
But anyway, I saw the movie, and it's so badly edited. First of all, there are a lot of great scenes from the movie that are quashed a little, like they're almost afterthoughts in the performances because they're giving all this attention to these big musical numbers that go nowhere.
Yeah.
There's one musical number where Shug Avery and Miss Celia are dancing on some 1920s style, 1930s style movie set or something. And it's like, what happened? Why are we, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you could have cut 10 million off the budget right there and not use that set because that was stupid. And there was just a lot of, there's this great scene in the movie where Shug reunites with her father while singing a gospel song. And in the movie, instead of her bursting into the full church singing the song to her father, it's just the two of them had a piano. And it's like, and it was David Alan Grier plays her father, and I like him, and it was a good scene to see. And everybody in the movie was good. Danielle Brooks is worth the trouble. And I've never seen Fantasia Barrino in anything because I never liked her singing voice on, what was she on? She was on one of those competition shows.
I don't watch those.
American Idol or something. But I've never liked her voice. It's too high for me. It's just a little too tinny sounding. But she was great in it. Everyone was great in it. But I just felt that all the performances kind of got muddied by the editing. Like almost like they cut to something else halfway through. They hold up shots that weren't important. And it really bothered me because it's so easy for somebody like a studio full of white men say, oh, these two actresses ruined it for us, or these two women ruined it for us, as opposed to
the fact that it was a musical ruined it.
What's that?
It's the fact that it was a musical ruined it. As soon as somebody says any movie's a musical, I'm like, I'm out.
I'll tell you right now, I don't mind a musical because hello again. But I totally understand when people say I don't like a musical. I get that. But this amplifies every reason why anyone hates a musical. It is just awful. The casting's great. There's some great people in it, but I didn't care. And I love Taraji P. Henson. And there's this great number that's huge in the musical. It's called Push the Button. And it was fine in the movie, but it was just kind of got glossed over. There was a lot of choreography and a lot of lighting that they did in the set that was all gorgeous, but I just felt it kind of overshadowed the performances. They had some great dancing, some great choreography, but then in that scene they did it in the dark. So it's like we're not even seeing it. There's this one move because it's a very sexy, like push the button. What else can you say?
Yeah.
But they're dancing. It's all couples dancing in a juke joint out in the swamp, so it's all sweaty. And the girls get bent down onto all fours in front of the guys, like you do. And there's this one dance move where you think the guys are going to raise their leg and spin it over, but they're kind of up against the women. And then they did this thing where they all spun on her hips, like their partner's hips, because they were braced on all fours. It was just for a second, but it was like you didn't expect it. I'm like, why didn't they like that better? That was a great move. And I just felt that there were some really horrible choices made in this. And I can see how they're going to blame Taraji for being greedy and Oprah for being an idiot. And apparently Oprah was producing this movie because she wanted Harpo Films to become like a mogul of potential movie making. And so she was kind of proving her mettle with this film. I'm using the Blend Bunny Noctilescent palette for highlight.
That's good.
And,
I was going to use my Beauty Moon, but I'm really obsessed with this peach one at the moment. So
yeah, nice. But apparently Oprah is trying to get into the movie game with Harpo Films, and this was her trial. Like this was her to prove her worth type of thing. And it's not going well, and apparently Warner Brothers is blaming her, because even if Taraji was out of line or anything, which I don't think she is. You don't want people saying bad things about your movie, pay them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's easy. So, and also I find it funny that if it had been Meryl Streep bitching and moaning, it would never have gotten to an interview level. They would have quelched that. But
yeah,
I don't like to think that there is, especially at that level of something like acting, like disparaging differences.
yeah,
I like to think the best. I like to think there's hope. I like to think it's changing, and it's not at all. These people are such assholes, and it just makes me so mad. And so the fact that, and I love Taraji P. Henson. Like, she was the only reason I watched Empire. You know what I mean? Like, it was such a show, and she was so funny in it. And she made this point, like, she fired her whole management team after Empire folded because she had no endorsements from it. And like Cookie Lion, she could have sold the cookie. She also wore the most incredible wardrobe on that. She could have sold clothes. It could have been a fragrance thing. Anything. The show was so popular. The fact that Jussie Smollett lied about being hate crime was so unfortunate. I think we all wanted to believe that a Trump supporter did that, and I'm not saying Trump supporters don't, but that was the wrong thing to do, and it ruined his career, and it stopped that show, and that may have been a reason why a lot of endorsements didn't happen, but it was also on for 3 or 4 years. She could have gotten something through that, and I remember even hearing that statement. It's like, oh, she didn't? And then I was watching something, Loretta Swit from MASH, while MASH was on that show 11 years. She did all sorts of things. She did yogurt commercials. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why wasn't that?
She got tarred with the same brush that Snuggle Nuts did, so it's, it's unfortunate because she had nothing to do with it, but because he wrecked he was stupid just because what was it? Because he wasn't getting paid enough or whatever, so he thought he could get more money this way or something. Like,
I don't know what.
Don't do
I
that.
can't even remember, but I remember it being that he said he was hate crime from these crackers and stuff. Like, he didn't use that term, but it was clearly people who had something to say. And we all wanted to believe it. And then for it not to be true made it even worse because no one had done it and somebody from the good side had lied. Normally that's what the bad side does.
Yeah. Well, you never want to think, it doesn't matter what side you're on. You would never think that somebody would do that would lie about something like that, right? No. Like for most people, that's just not a thought that would come across their head. Oh, I want a raise, so here, let me pretend that's, somebody of an opposite whatever beat me up, right? Or women saying a man did it, or a man saying a woman did it, whatever, right? It's just like, ask for more money or do the work to get more money, but making a lie like that, and it just furthers the divide, right? And it's, anyways.
No, it's true.
So that was a dumb move. Yeah. Oh yes, she was on American Idol, or the other girl on American Idol.
Yeah. Marino,
I watched American Idol, I think the first couple years. I was in music at the time, so I watched the first couple years, I think. But now every once in a while, if they have a little snippet on YouTube that pops up of somebody that was apparently really amazing on one of those shows, like America's Got Talent or something, I'll watch for 2 minutes. But
I love watching the auditions. Especially when it's like there was one little girl, she was, I don't know what nationality she was. She could have been Italian, she could have been Hawaiian, I don't know. Tiny little girl, but heavy, and she just came out and she was a little nervous and they said, where do you, she said, I've never sung in front of people. And they're all like, oh God, this is going to be awful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Singing, like I sing at home. And she let go with this song. I can't even remember the song, but it was like my jaw drops up.
Yeah.
And then I love it because then they're like, they finish and the crowd goes wild. And they're like, Like when Susan Boyle, I cried. It's like,
Yeah, I remember that so much.
I
Yeah,
cried, you know,
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
you
that was
crazy
fabulous.
autistic weird woman. I bet they treat you weird in your town. I bet they
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
But
yeah,
look at the talent.
yeah. Well, because everybody thinks if you've got talent, you're also gorgeous and stunning and this and that and the other, and then you just see somebody that's absolutely average come out and then just blow you out of the water. It's like awesome, right? I like
Those are
that.
the ones I love the most when it's like
Mhm.
somebody's grandmother and she throws it down, or a
Yeah,
mom like who's finished raising all the kids and now what is she doing? You know, I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah, there's a video I just saw on YouTube too. It was a guy, he always films himself playing piano somewhere out in like a mall or whatever. And then
Oh
this
yeah,
and then this girl came up to him and then she kind of whispers and is like, "Can I sing with you?" And he's like, "Sure." And she's like, "Do you know Voila?" And he's like, "Yep." And then he started playing and he had to try and keep up with her, but oh man, she does better than the original singer, and the video's got something, I don't know, like
wow.
30 million views or something.
Oh
And
yeah,
then after I watched that, another girl popped up. She also has some kind of health issue, and she was with Andre Rieu, and she did the song, and they were trying to say that she did the best version, but I'm like, no, I think that little girl in the mall with the guy
yeah.
on the piano. But still, they were both really good. But it was just like, yeah, just some quiet little girl. And she even looks at her grandmother like, "Is it okay if I sing?" And she's like, "Yep, go ahead." And yep, and then and then you see all these people crying in the middle of the mall. They're like bawling because the song's beautiful. So they're like bawling their heads off on this song. And it's like, yeah, so awesome.
I
So,
love the voice.
so I had to go and download the song. I was just like, oh my God, I love that song. It's so beautiful. So I went and downloaded
There's
it.
a girl named Mackenzie on The Voice, and she was a large girl. But oh my God, the thing was, her voice was stunning, and because of how people treat fat people, you could imagine that she wasn't probably regarded by anyone.
Yeah.
And then she not only sang, but she had these little runs like, ew, and it was like, and Jennifer Hudson was on the panel, and she threw her shoes at her. It was like, and Kelly Clarkson, there was one moment where she did something during a Bee Gees song, and this is a song you've heard 100 times, but she went discordant off a little in it. It was like, and Kelly Clarkson, what the hell was that? And that's the stuff I love. But the thing I hate about The Voice, it's only about The Voice that first round.
Yeah, yeah.
After
100%.
that, they've seen you. Now they know what you look like. If they have issues or whatever, it's you know, it can still make an effect. I would love that show to be absolutely where we don't see them, like not The Masked Singer, but like where we just
Yeah,
don't see them, and until like the finale, and it's like, oh, that's the winner, wow, you know, and then we see everyone that was in it.
yeah, yeah. No, that would be good. That would be good.
Yeah,
Well, it's funny because everything is so viral and so filmed. Like I remember when I went to England when I was younger, and Rick Astley had just come out, and I had like bought his single, and I just loved it, and I didn't know what he looked like. And then we were at a friend's house in I think in the Netherlands, and we were watching. They were like, "Oh, let's watch something on BBC 5 or whatever," and it was him, and it was just like, and again, expecting this big black man, and then it was just like, 5'9", scrawny redhead, and you're like, whoa, how did that voice sound to that little guy, right? And it's like, but now right away you just see everything on TV or on video or whatever, so there is no, really surprise anymore, right?
it's funny. I thought Madonna was black the first time I heard her back in the '80s.
Yeah,
Probably because I don't think of her as sounding that way now, but at the time, not a lot of white women were singing that way. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, for sure.
Pop music was still very
I miss the 80s.
homogenized.
The 80s were so good when it came to music. Now, not so much. It's hard pressed to find something. I mean, I still find stuff to listen to, but it's a little bit harder than it used to be to find somebody that I like to listen to.
Oh, you know what I've been watching, and it's just finished. It literally just finished, but it was just one of the best things I've ever seen. Fargo.
Yeah, I still have to watch that. I have it linked, but I just never. I think I watched the first episode of the first season, and I just never. There's so much, or there's always so much else. But
Yeah.
yeah. But now that you say that it's really good, then I might go. I might at some point get back to it, but I've just been in love with all the BritBox British crime dramas. So yeah, I'm a big crime drama.
In season 5, Juno Temple from Ted Lasso is in it, but she does that Minnesota, oh yeah, you betcha accent.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
What she did on Ted Lasso wasn't her accent either. She's got more of a posh accent, and she was playing a Geordie on Ted Lasso, and then she's doing this Midwest accent, and I thought she did an excellent job. Especially, I find it easier for people to sound British than for British people to sound American. So when somebody who's British does a good American accent, I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
Somebody who's like that is Rose Byrne is Australian.
Yeah.
And she does a great American. She's done American accents so often that I just didn't think she was British. And Rosamund Pike, with a name like Rosamund Pike, of course she's British. But yeah, she's done so many American films. You're like, and then she talks in an interview. You're like,
well, it's the same thing. James Marsters as Spike on Buffy, or what's the other one? Or what's his name from House?
Oh yeah.
I never remember his name.
Because he was
Hugh Laurie. I had never seen him talk his normal accent, and then the first time I saw do an interview, like I literally almost fell off my chair. It was just like, wow, like
He was on Blackadder as the King of France, and a total.
Well, I didn't connect that because I watched all the Blackadder, but I didn't connect him on Blackadder as House. And then afterwards, like I said, I think it was on a DVD. I borrowed some DVDs and it was on the extra features. And then he just started talking in his regular voice. And it was just like, wow, like he does it so well.
The picture that I posted on Instagram, this is the wig, but I had, it was coming apart, so I was going to restyle it. So I did restyle it for today, but it's not a permanent restyle. Because I really need to reset it and everything. But this is a wig that Denise Cherneau sent me. But I thought I'd redo the victory roll for us for this afternoon.
No, I washed my hair today. If I would have left, it would have been dirty enough to do victory rolls.
Yeah, but I was trying to tell somebody that.
So. No bueno. Braids it is.
I was trying to show Ted how to pin, or Wilhelmina how to pin her hair up under a wig cap, and it was just so funny to me because I've never done it, but I know how to do it, and he just had all of his.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not fun curl. She had this somewhere else in it, and I couldn't figure out where, so I stuck it there. But with the spit curl song.
Yeah. Now I want to get back to that. I'm trying to grow out my fringe now, and then got to get back to setting my hair.
I just think it's so pretty. The movie Swing Shift that Goldie Hawn was in and produced, she had the that whole 40s look.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, gorgeous. Look at you.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's good.
Both together.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Oh, Glamline has a Betty Boop collection. I knew that.
What?
Is it new? Is it old?
What? I love Betty Boop. Jesus.
Oh, I love her too. Oh my goodness. No, don't do it. Don't do it, Chloe.
In my car, around my whatever it's called, steering wheel, and my carpets are Betty Boop in my car. So. Oh, Wooster and Thieves, I remember that.
In honor of the weather we've been having, I'm wearing my Denise Cherneau one of my Christmas tees. You can get these on my Redbubble store, but she's such a fantastic artist. And she does all these images of me as a burlesque dancer, which I find flattering.
Oh no! So I guess if it's Betty Boop, I guess that's going to be my first quarter purchase because I'm
excited!
Betty Boop. Come on.
Oh my God.
And, yeah, no, I got to get back to doing my hair. Yeah.
Look what you've done. You created a monster.
Yeah.
Don't let's shop again.
I look like a peacock. I think that's what I got going on here. The peacock.
Yeah, that's beautiful. But you have those green eyes. You can almost wear anything. That's what makes me sick.
There we go. Gorgeous.
Good. I don't know. Denise, the wig she sent me, that orangey bubble that she sent me, which I love. When she sent it to me, she said, "Oh, I think you'd look great in this with blue eyeshadow and freckles." And I've enjoyed seeing people do freckles as makeup, but I grew up with them, so it's not something I'm that interested in. But I find it interesting that other people are, because for the longest time they were like the mark of the devil if you had freckles on your face. Like, and I had a lot.
Yeah, that's why I have a problem with people putting on faux freckles, and I have a problem with people who wear glasses that have clear lenses in them, because you spend years as a person with glasses being picked on and called four eyes because you got glasses, and now because a whack of hipsters in Portland said it was cool, now everybody runs around with glasses with either no glass in there or just plastic frames, and then people putting on, now the big trend is to permanently tattoo freckles on your face.
Ugh.
It's like,
I was told they were kisses from heaven because I was picked on for them. I looked dirty. Yeah. One teacher came at me, and why don't you wash your face? And I'm like, but back then teachers could touch you.
Yes.
Oh, Betty's got one of my stickers, black and white pinup sticker on her fridge. I love that one.
Aw.
There's a bunch.
Oh, thanks, Martha.
Yeah.
No, I mean, freckles are nice, and I get why I think they look nice, and I get why people want them, but I just find it so hilarious that it's such a trend, right? Like Missa always is putting the freckles on, and it's like, I get it. I get that they're cute, but for all the people that got picked on for them, now that they're a trend right now, I don't know. Not about that life.
Yeah, I don't mind them, because I like the freckles that I have on my elbows. Yeah. Like, there's just so many of them. That's what was on my face.
Yeah.
So, but now they're only here. But it all faded. I used to have like orange hair as a child, then it went to auburn, and then by the time I was 30, it was like a deep russet brown.
Yeah.
And it started falling out, and we stopped talking. But the freckles on my face dissipated, and I don't know how or why.
Yeah.
But you see pictures of me as a child, and people are like, "Who is that?" It's me.
Yeah. So if you want to paint them on every right, and like I said, I don't really mind too much, but I just find it really funny that certain things that people really got picked on as a kid and tortured over is now a fashion aesthetic.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of like, But whatever.
Doesn't make me want to beat them up for wearing glasses. Come here, four eyes.
I miss now, since I got my eyes fixed, that I only need them to read. I used to always like them better when I need them to drive my car, because I have so many vintage glasses and vintage style glasses, and now I can only wear them when I'm reading or on the computer, but I don't need them to.
The last pair of glasses I got before I had laser surgery, which I totally regret having, but they were like those heavy frame utility glasses that everyone wore in the Godzilla movies.
Mm-hmm.
That square black frame on it. Love that. And I finally got a pair that fit my face and with my prescription, and I was like, oh, and then it's like, do you want laser surgery? Because I worked at a radio station, it was a promotion. And it was like,
no, mine was cataracts, old lady eyes. So.
Oh, boo.
Yeah. So no, and then they said, "What do you want?" Because if I wanted to pay $1,000 or whatever, they could have totally fixed it. I said, "No, just leave it the way it is, so that I need glasses to drive a car and nothing to read." My eyes had other plans, and they did the opposite. And now I can't read anything for shit, but I can see a million miles away. So it's like, Well, so the only thing that's good about that is sunglasses. So now I can wear all the sunglasses and buy all the cheap ones, expensive ones. Doesn't matter. They don't need a prescription to be outdoors. So I think I do that a little bit more. Well,
I have a double barrel shotgun on the top of my head. More forward, like it's pushed forward than the other. Weird.
they're never. I mean, if you look at old films and stuff, there's always flyaways. Like the modern thing, they always make it always look so perfect, but
Yeah.
they're almost always one bigger, one smaller, or you have triple ones.
The bigger one and the smaller.
Yeah, yeah. So
Well,
I
they-
do whatever my hair does, right? My hair will, there's days where I can't do them at all, and then there's other days where they're perfectly symmetrical, or I can make them look like little hearts, and then other times there's one
like
bigger,
the
one smaller.
with your bangs because you put them kind of further.
Yeah, yeah. It's just so hard to maintain the bangs, and I'm getting tired of it. So I thought, I think I'm gonna let it go for a while.
Carl Brown.
And it's easier to do victory rolls too without them. So
Carl Brown, who I follow on Instagram, who is a brilliant hairstylist, he does one where the victory roll comes up here, and then from there, instead of being another victory roll, it's the Hollywood wave. It's stunning. I just love that. You know why they call them victory rolls?
Yeah, it was because they're actually shaped. If you do them correctly in the back, they're shaped like a V, and then V for victory for the World War II. So yeah, so if you look at a properly done one in back, they're a perfect V, and then they've got
But
different. Yeah.
the main reason they're called victory rolls was because when men went to war, women went to work, and any women that were working around machinery got their hair caught in the machine.
Oh yeah, that's when the snood thing happened. They had Veronica Lake, because of everybody wanted to do the lake hair, and their hair got caught in the machine. She actually had to do a PSA saying, "This is how if you want to wear your hair like this." And she pulled out hair nets and did this whole thing about how so that
girls their hair up.
Yeah, so girls wouldn't hurt themselves trying to look like her. Yeah. But it is part of the red lipstick. Apparently Hitler hated red lipstick, so the red was again a middle finger to Hitler, and then like I said, the hairstyle, the back is a V for victory, so for a winning of World War II. So
I have a V. Yeah. I do have the V back there.
Yeah. I can every once in a while do it, but I don't have a lot of hair, so it usually takes a lot of setting and the right curls and back combing and the spray and the whole 9 yards to be able to do them really, really big and like that and really whatever. So
Paul says you look like one of the girls from the B-52s. All you need is a big wig and earrings. It's definitely
I love the
B-52s. Of course, thank you, Steph, or else I'm not wearing your palette today, but I have worn it. I do enjoy it. It was so good, someone stole it off me.
Well, you do. Yeah, I mean, yours was taken from you, but
I was absconded with bastards.
Yeah. No, I love this palette. Any excuse to use it. So
yeah, and I was so impressed with how easy it was to blend everything out. And that matte row at the top, or the top where you're holding it.
Yeah, here, yeah. I think
baby. Martha
the only thing I would have changed if I could have had the purple be a bit darker. I think that was the only thing I think.
Yeah, but you know what? It blends so well with that cocoa shade by your finger.
It does. That's what I did last time, where I did that on top, and then I did this shade along the edges. It did really nice.
Yeah.
But if I just want to do a purple row, it's so hard to do on camera. If I just want to do a purple row, I need I need a darker shade.
Yeah. But the nice thing is like in the I just used, it's so funny, I just have to go through them now because they're all in front of me. Friendsgiving has two great purples in there, plus that gorgeous black. And then the Be the Gift has a good purple in it too. This is an eggshell. But the nice, Air Baby.
I love those two palettes. Oh my God. Those two are amazing.
Yeah, and they've got that beautiful purple in that as well. So, because I have a couple of other soft palettes, there were a few things I agree with you. Like I wish there had been a darker purple and maybe a second matte blue in a different tone. I wouldn't care which way, but
this is the only one I have to use yet. I've got some plans for it.
So. Oh, which one's that?
That's the Funny Butter one. Buds. Yeah. So I just have to use that one still, but I've got some plans for it. So it's
Well, it was so great. Darcy sent me in my last unboxing video. She sent me 2 Cupid's Arrow palettes, and I have a friend on YouTube, Daisy Ex Machina. She does a book review channel, and it's called BookTube Goddess. And I love her. We were talking about makeup. She had sent something to me in a YouTube comment, or it was a comment to, I guess, either my unboxing or putting on makeup. But she made a comment, and I said, "Oh, honey, I'll talk to you about makeup anytime." And I put my email in the comment, and she sent me an email and was talking about how she is looking to buy some new stuff and what brands. And I said, "Oh, well, I have this palette from St. Angel Sinners. Let me send it to you." Just because I was talking to her about toppers and multicolours.
Yeah.
She's like, "What are all those things?" And I was like, "Oh, well, this is a whole other world." But I said the best formula that I use is the St. Angel Sinners formula. So I said the nice thing with the Cupid's Arrow, the nicest thing about Cupid's Arrow is the photo on the front with the broken window with the heart.
Yeah.
So cute. But the color range in those topper shimmers.
Yeah.
It's
No, they're beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm going to be sending her that off. Oh, Darcy's off. Bye, doll.
Bye.
Hey, Parker. Trying to see what. Save your hair from your hairbrush to make a rat ball.
Yeah. Oh no, I have different stuff like that too. But like I said, I have very, very little hair. Like very little.
Yeah. You can't afford it. The stuff you get in your brush, you try and put back. Is everything.
Yeah. So yeah, no. If I do good curl sets, then I can. And I sleep in them overnight. Then I can get enough. I can get enough body to do it. But
I have to say, whenever you have done your hair, I wouldn't think that you have. Like that your complaint would be you don't have a lot of hair, because it looks good. Like you certainly style it beautifully.
Yeah, because you can tell like my teeny weeny things here. It's like baby fine, right? So yeah.
And then whenever Denise sends me a wig, she always sends me a couple of rats from whatever she combed out of it, styling it. I love that.
Yeah, no, I have those, and and the little donuts and all sorts of things. But
I don't like to use rats in my victory roll. I like them to look like you could stick flowers in there.
Yeah. Yes, but caves, not tunnels.
Yeah. But there you go. Well, I think we talked about it all. I think we wore it all. You look gorge.
Thank you.
Yeah. What have you got planned for the weekend?
Well, it depends on how the weather is. So if it's cool, like if I can get out of my back alley to head out. I think a friend and we may do brunch. And then there's a vintage store that we both haven't gone to in a while. So I'm looking for a vintage lamp. So we thought maybe we could, because I've got, we can't see it from here, but my back corner there, I've moved some stuff around and now it's kind of empty and I need more light. So I thought, okay, let's see if I can find a vintage lamp. And Bart's store, it's usually pretty affordable. So let's see if I can find something.
I have a reproduction of that vintage silk windsock lamp. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like on a wrought iron stand. And, I love that, but it's in my kitchen because for the longest time I couldn't change the light bulb in my kitchen ceiling. So I moved my lamp into the kitchen. And mood lighting in my kitchen for a long time.
Yeah, usually for me, it's like I'm pretty much in darkness, and it's like, all right, you got to go drag out a chair, drag out the light bulbs, up you go. It's like, I'm not going to do it for one light bulb. I'm not climbing up there for one light bulb. It's going to be at least 3 or 4 of you suckers out before I do it.
Oh, thanks for joining, Steph. We have to do our drag makeup video. I'm just saying, I'm no pressure, not forcing, just saying. With a little force.
I'd like to see that.
I'm doing fittings with Carlotta this weekend. We're doing Zuhair is a designer from Tehran. That doesn't sound right. Middle Eastern designer, and he did this stole a few years ago in taffeta or Dupioni silk, but it's just this huge, almost arch of gathered, crumped,
Yeah.
gorgeous silk fabric, and then at the shoulder it ungathers, like it doesn't gather anymore, it just falls like chandelier, like tassels,
Oh,
fabric.
yeah.
And Carlotta said, "I want you to make this." I said, "Okay." And the fabric she bought me is not taffeta like. It's very, it has almost no body. It almost just, but it looks good. So she bought, like, our big thing right now is how do we make this all stand up without it weighing 100 pounds or poking you in the eye? And the other thing, she thought it was a jacket. So I thought she knew it was a stole because in the video, the nice thing with more current video, current designs is their runways are filmed and you see them coming and going. And this thing is like a stole, but instead of sitting on the shoulders, it sits up from the collar. And then it just drops in the front, but she wants it to be a jacket, which I understand because as a performer, she doesn't want to be fussing with this thing falling off.
Yeah, I can see that.
And, which I'm glad because then it makes it a little easier to do what we need to do. But we're also doing another Audrey Hepburn-inspired sheath dress. I posted on Instagram a picture of her in a purple outfit, and that's the dress. But we're making one now in like Tiffany blue velvet.
That'd be beautiful.
And then the Zohair-inspired coat is also Tiffany blue, but like it looks like Dupioni silk. And then the new thing right now that she has me obsessed with is, it's a double knit. They use it for diving suits.
Not like neoprene.
Yeah, neoprene.
Oh.
That's exactly right. So neoprene, it's a double knit. It's just a really polyester double knit, which is why it stretches and why it's slightly waterproof. And they make it now in the finest weight. For instance, I don't know if you've ever seen me in my floral white blouse with the flowers on it. That's neoprene.
Oh.
Yeah, so what Carlotta's been buying now is matching fabric, neoprene, in the colors of the dresses so I can make her gloves, because it's got a glove weight leather feel to it.
Nice.
Yeah, so for stretchy over the hands, it doesn't go sheer, show every vein or bone, like it's like a good, well-made glove.
Yeah.
And so I just said to her, whenever you see a color you want gloves in, just buy it and bring it. I'll just make them. I'll just have a standing running order. If there's fabric, make gloves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to sew for Miss Conception, who I've been posting. She's been posting pictures of stuff I made her years ago, so I've been reposting them. But one of the things I would do for her is I enjoyed making costumes for her because of the style of drag she does. But everything we made her was in stretch because she's a dancing queen. Like she couldn't she couldn't wear. She also didn't like to show any of her chest because she hated shaving. So a lot of the aesthetic that I like of fashion, we weren't doing for her. We were doing proper costumes. Yeah. But the thing that I did that made me laugh the most was I always made her matching panties from the scraps. So she would do a cartwheel, and any women that were in the audience, she'd do a cartwheel, and they would both go, your underwear matched, and that made me the happiest. It's like, good job. So now my thing is just, I'll make you pair gloves.
Yeah.
Little gloves.
That's awesome.
I made myself a pair of gloves that I glued nails to, and then I did the same thing for Wilhelmina. And the only problem is these were early gloves that I made, and so the fingers, I need to shorten the pattern so that the finger stretches more and is taut.
Yeah.
Because what will happen with the nails is they'll flop off the end. It's like, hi. It's the funniest thing. Like you have to spend a little time kind of.
Yeah.
Getting up close and personal with your fingers.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Oh, God.
But
Love it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
anyway, so yeah, I guess that's been where are we at now? Oh, 2 hours right on the nose.
There we go. Look at that. Perfect time.
Well, Chloe, thank you for forcing me to do this. You didn't, but thank you for lighting the fire under my ass to do it because it's been a while.
Yes.
I want to send out some thoughts to Candace, my birthday twin and illegitimate drag dog, Alma Fingers, and she hurt her knee before Christmas and is still convalescing. So we're hoping to do something live with her where she does all this business for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Sit over there. But
yeah.
If you have a moment in your nightly prayers, just throw one Candace's way.
Will do.
And follow Chloe on Instagram. Save the victory roll, all one word, and the same thing for YouTube. She is becoming a hot ticket on YouTube. Let me tell you what, she's past the 300 subscribers mark.
So excited. Yeah.
Yeah, you're at 310 now, aren't you?
Yeah. It waffle, as always. It's the same two that seem to waffle back and forth for a while, and then it sticks. And then the next two waffle back and forth.
I'm expecting to lose a lot of subscribers if I stop reviewing Drag Race, but I don't review a lot of Drag Race anymore anyway because I don't do any of the franchises.
Yeah.
Britain. I did Australia last year, and I was glad that I did because it was enjoyable. I wish, though, that I had reviewed the season before that Spanky Jackson won because I love
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, she's great. But you know what? There's just new viewers for sewing and makeup and movies in the wings. So your diehards will stay, and then you'll just get a whack of new people. So
also, I bought a pair of scissors. There is a guy on YouTube who does sewing, like how to fix bad fitting clothes, or like if you have a pattern and say you have square shoulders, but the pattern isn't square and it pulls funny. You know, the front of women's pants. Why does it look like that, and how do you fix it? And he'll show you. He's got great videos. His name is Quirius. It's a weird name. It's a made-up name. If it's not, I apologize. But he's so good. In one of his videos, he had this endorsement for scissors, LDH scissors, and they're just scissors, fabric scissors. They're, not reinventing the wheel or anything. But what was impressive to me, because I went to their website, and as it happened when I saw that they were having a Black Friday sale, and so I got a pair of scissors with free delivery. The scissors didn't have a discount, but it was free delivery, and I got a leather sheath that you can put the scissors in, and it snaps closed around them, so it keeps them sharp and safe. And I think that's $25, and they're always out of stock of them. Like, they never have them. And so I think the scissors cost me $45, maybe $50 with taxes. And they're in Toronto. They're in Mississauga, which is a city just like
nice.
Toronto.
Yeah.
It's such a treat because everything is not in Toronto. And which is why I hate Cleona. What is that?
Oh, a Cleona. Yeah.
Cleona, which is why I hate them. Is they're so expensive. The shipping is exorbitant, even though I could literally walk up to their building and knock on the door. Like, they're literally down the street from where I am.
Oh yeah, 3 single shadows, $25.
No, and you can't. The shipping is exorbitant. It still takes forever, and they won't let you pick stuff up there. So it's like, screw you. But this company is in Mississauga. They ship for free, and they sharpen the scissors for only $10.
Oh, nice.
Since COVID, a lot of these little, like the Shmata district on Queen West, a lot of these little independent people that were like renting out the basement of a building or something, and they'd sharpen scissors or make caps or whatever they did. There was a great pleater in one of the buildings in the basement. They would do like skirt pleating or starburst pleating, anything. If you had a bunch of fabric you wanted pleated, they would pleat it for you.
Wow.
The type where you got it pleated with the paper.
Yeah.
Wrapped in paper so it wouldn't move, the pleats wouldn't move, and you can't find anyone to do that kind of work anymore. And same with these scissor sharpeners, because you can get a sharpener and grind a pair of scissors, but if you don't know anything about edge geometry, then you might as well just cut everything with a loaf of bread. And so the fact that they sharpen their own scissors for only $10, and the box they come in has the it's like a glove box, it's rectangular. It has the inset like the Trixie mirror did, where the scissors fit and they don't.
Yeah.
So I'm
Are they
actually,
nice and long? Are they the nice long
yeah,
ones?
you get from 9 inches. I got a 10-inch pair,
Yeah.
but you can get, I think, 11 or 12. But I used to, because I have such big hands. I still find even those scissors, I only put 3 fingers in them to cut them, but I like the 10-inch length because it allows me to do little stuff like clip through an armhole and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha. Yeah.
I used to have upholstery shears that were 15 inches long. They weighed a friggin' ton, but I was also working downtown off Spadina in this warehouse, so it just made me comfortable walking around with them in my bag. but you know,
Those aren't scissors. These are scissors.
I love those scissors, and they were not as expensive as you think. But with specialty things like upholstery shears, they're usually more expensive, even though it's just a pair of scissors. But
Yeah.
you have to find the right person to sharpen them, and but yeah, I got the 10-inch only because I didn't need. Like I knew the last time I had big scissors, I thought, oh, I'm not buying them this big again. It's hard to maneuver, you know.
Gotcha.
And they also do rotary blades, which I'm not a fan of, but they're great for quilters. So LDH scissors.
I'll look at that the next time. I've got some that are okay, but I want ones that are a bit longer, so it's a little bit easier to cut versus I feel sometimes they're too short, they feel too stilted, and then I worry about weird jagged cutting of the fabric. So I want ones a little bit longer than the ones I have. I don't think mine are 10-inch. I don't think they're that.
Oh, thanks, Betty. Betty's agreed with you that YouTube is crying out for authentic skills, knowledge, experience, content. Yeah, because I have to tell you, as much as I love Drag Race, and when I first started reviewing it, it was because I did it for Out TV. And here's why I started reviewing Drag Race. A drag queen in New York, Heather Lettuce.
Oh,
Sherry
Heather.
Lettuce is fabulous, but
Yeah.
no, it was Heather Lettuce. She's a queen that always wears green wigs. Heather
Yeah,
Lettuce.
yeah.
She did one for the season 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race. And if you look it up on YouTube, Heather Lettuce season 4 from Meet the Cast. She was so mean, and it was so funny. And at one point in the middle of it, she just held up a thing with hot nachos. Like, it just, she really cared less. One girl, the princess, she's like, okay. I laughed so hard, and I said to one of the heads of Out TV at the time, because I was doing something else for them, I said, have you seen this? Because they had just signed a contract with RuPaul's Drag Race where Out TV was the only station that was airing RuPaul's Drag Race, because that first season went on MTV and no one watched it. And that's why it's called the Lost Season, that first one.
I've seen it.
And everything else was on MTV in Canada. From 2 on, they were on MTV. And I said, you should get a drag queen. And I had a list of 4 or 5 that I could have given them right then and there to do this. And they said, why don't you just do it? Because this is the thing with people that produce stuff. They don't like to work with strangers.
Yeah.
Mediocre actor that they're used to, and who's easy to work with too, who just more or less does what they say. They're not talented enough to rock the boat. They're like, okay, say this over here facing that way. Okay, you know. So, but they said, why don't you do it? And at the time, I was house sitting for a drag queen, and so I just put her wigs on and false eyelashes. I didn't even put makeup on. But I was making drag costumes, so it was easy enough for me to, you know, talk about drag. I worked with queens. I wasn't a drag queen, but I was getting good views on those videos throughout TV, but I was interested to see how much traction Wilma had on her own. So I did start my own channel, and then Out TV didn't want to pay me to do them or some such. I don't know what it was, and it was. We didn't have a falling out or anything, but it just ended up where they were like, "Oh, I know what it was." They were starting to produce Dragula, and their story to me was they wanted to put their money into Dragula, and I was like, "That's fine." You know, you guys don't know me. Thank you for the support up till now, anyway. And so I continued with Wilma, but I wasn't getting the views I did then. I got maybe I was bearded back then, Pay.
I actually watched one of your real, or I think maybe like season 3 or something videos, and it was just like just night and day, like from now to then. It was just like, wow. Like,
I used to have a voice for Wilma. It was like kind of like Ed Grimley. It's like,
yeah.
but listen, okay, so here's the thing.
Yep, that was
I used
it.
to use that voice around Wilhelmina, Ted, where I just like, listen, 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 I mean, stop it. So that's, I just thought it would be funny, and then I thought, oh, I'm not doing it. I don't like it. No one likes it. I don't like it. But yeah, now that I've kind of developed like a bit of a following, but I also have people that have responded well to these other things I do. Snaggle so much. Exit stays right. I just like. I really love doing the makeup in movies so much that I want to do one a month. Like I want to do one a month. I should be able to do 2 a month. I should be able to do 1 a week. Let's just be honest. They're not hard. And if I planned it right, I could film the makeup in movies, then film something else in the face, and then maybe film something else again and get like 3 things done in one day. And I'm hoping to get to that point where it's like I can film the in the morning, film the going on and review a movie, and then in the afternoon do a sewing thing and not waste the face type of thing.
100%. Yeah,
and because that's the other thing, I can't just throw myself in front of a camera and do something. I'm so jealous of everyone who can. And even when I start a video like this one where I have nothing on, even when I do a live with my Patreoners, which we do two times a month, on Patreon, my family, I have had days where I can't put a face on today. And I feel like I'm cheating people if I don't show up like at least this, at least some effort. He did this great ginger afro for me. And that's I don't feel like doing drag thing because I don't have to do eyebrows with it. I don't have to glue it on. It's just all it's like eyes and lips. And then it's just hair. And, so I do like, also I have been wanting to style wigs. I have this one wig that I want to do for Candice Gregoris. Candice does. I'm going to make her do this on my channel. Candice does stand up. She's a great writer. She's like, I think of her as more as a bon vivant or a raconteur. She just tells great stories that are hilarious. And she talks about a teacher when she was in like early grade 3 or 4 or something. And he was, in retrospect, she knew he was clearly gay, but at the time he just this teacher, and he would say to all the girls, "Oh, you're my Veronica." Like they would remind him of certain movie stars. And Candice reminded him of Elizabeth Taylor. You look just like Elizabeth Taylor. She didn't know who it was. Didn't care. And then years later, like she does this whole story where blah 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 blah. Then she ends up at getting like as a grown up, and again, irrelevant to that story. She's moved on. We've traveled. It's been a long and winding road. She's getting waxed, and the esthetician says to her, I don't mean this. I was going to call her an artiste, the wax artist, but the esthetician says to her, "Oh, if you'd like to have a look and tell me if that's how you like it." And so she does this whole act out where she's standing in front of a mirror with her hand in front of herself, looking, like, and I do look like Elizabeth Taylor. It's the funniest thing I've ever heard anyone do. Wig that Aunt B sent me, and it's like a perfect Elizabeth Taylor wig, like from Calvin Hot Tin Roof. So I want to style it in that 40s Hollywood glam for her. So she can do the Elizabeth Taylor story. And also, she does this story about being bullied, waiting for the bus during winter, and this kid would always make her sing Boogie Wonderland. Like it's so funny. When she tells the story, it is so funny because she has to sing and dance it at this bus stop. And I said to her, we have to film that. Like it would be so easy to film it, like make you look like a kid, have the camera above you, and then some real kids shooting them down below so they look like a beast. And I said, I think
interludes in one of your videos where she just
I would just film it with her to make her do it because she looks eat it. You know?
Yeah.
Every time I hear a Cool and the Gang song, I text her.
Yeah.
Cool
Instead
and
of
the Gang,
doing
are you all right? Are you good?
yeah, instead of like a commercial, or have an ad, you'll have, you know, like a little interlude, and then she pops up doing something, and then you do the rest of the videos.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to kind of doing all of that. I want to kind of get all these other things. One thing I really have noticed is I go to Style a Wig now, and I just don't do them as well as I used to.
Well, because
And
you're on a time crunch, right? You just want to kind of get it done because you've got to review X, Y, and Z. But if you, even for, like I said, even for a year or 6 months, you don't try some other things, see how it goes, and if it doesn't go and you feel the joy again, then go and do Drag Race. But I
well,
think
I'm letting season 16 go. I had every intention of reviewing episode 1 and 2 as one
yeah,
review because no one went home.
yeah,
And I was going to do like a weekly with starting this week. And I haven't done any of that yet. And it's already, and I'm like, ugh. I'm not playing catch up. I'm not. I don't care. I'm not. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And then I'm not going to do UK versus the world because even though I didn't hate the first one, I didn't enjoy it. And also some of the queens that are on like those all stars and things where they bring them back, I'm not always a fan of them, and there's a reason they're available.
Yeah, true story.
So I think I might wait until either UK usually starts in November or like at the end of the year. So I might wait till then, or I might even wait until season 17. I don't know if I'll review Canada's Drag Race again, and the only reason is that I just don't. It doesn't.
Good.
No.
Bueno. Yeah.
So I have to say, as a production, because you can't have an American host a Canadian show, which is why RuPaul's not on it. It's also why they call it Canada's Drag Race, not RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
And even though it's RuPaul adjacent and she still does the video messages and all that, it has really nothing to do with her. And because of that, they've kind of taken some liberties on some of the things that I started hating about Drag Race, like that looking at your younger self picture and saying, well, you're younger, you're 6-year-old. First of all, Wilma made a great point. It's like, well, that's got to be triggering for any of the trans contestants.
Yeah.
Who wants to look at a picture of themselves as a child when they were at their most miserable?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I just hate it because it's just so contrite. But in Canada, they do the photo shoot with the last queen, and they give advice. They talk about, instead of having that Tic Tac lunch with Rue, which is always just so annoying.
I know, I hate that too.
Yeah, they just have a kiki with the last queen, and in most cases, they know each other because that queen's just spent a year touring the country, and the other queens that are on the show clearly are at a level where they would perform at an event that these queens.
Yeah.
And I enjoy seeing them talk as equals. And what was the most surprising thing about this, or how do you handle? And I like that much better. And then the photo shoot they use there is the photo, and I still don't enjoy that moment, but I like that impetus better.
I like that from the original few seasons, the photo shoot. I always liked that in the beginning. That was kind of my favorite thing too.
Their first challenge was the photo shoot. Now
yeah, and that's why when Canada's Drag Race season 1 started, they started with the photo shoot. I'm like, oh my god, it feels like old school Drag Race. Love it. So I liked the first 2 seasons, and after that, it was like, so
yeah. So yeah, I think by taking the rest of the year off, and I might do a video where I kind of maybe talk about the end of a season, especially if that season ended up being really good.
Yeah. Just watch it as a regular person watching it to see if you enjoy it, and if you feel the urge that, oh no, I got to talk about this episode, like, oh my god, right, this happened, then you doing it for fun, and then I think that'll show in your video as well too, that kind of the excitement for it, and just spend your time doing all the other things that you love to do. Like I said, you'll just end up with you'll have your core audience for sure, but you'll just get some different people that want to watch.
The videos I enjoy watching are the sewing videos, the dog rescue videos. If I want a good cry, I'll just watch them Save a Pity.
Yeah,
Oh, you love that good dog.
just watch Asher House. You just watch
Oh,
Leah
yeah.
Asher. So you get
Up in the shower with one of the dogs. Hi.
every once in a while, I'll send it to my one friend who's absolutely in love with it. And I'll be like, "Oh my god, Megs, watch this!"
That's why I watch the kilted coaches at first. Because kilts. Oh.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And I also watch a lot of the America's Got Talent and all of those audition videos where they're singing. And then I also like to watch. I used to like watching makeup review channels. I don't watch a lot of them anymore. I watch you, Teresa, and Erica Conger regularly. I don't think I watch anyone else regularly, but I will kind of tune into someone every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find if the subject's entertaining, then I'll watch it, or something that I want to see, I'll watch it. Like poor Pia got a terrible box that she did a pre-order, and then they sent her all this other stuff that wasn't related to what she ordered, and it was like I felt so bad for her. It was like, oh, it's just like getting that palette of glitter. Oh my god! But it was
But at the same time, those videos are sometimes the more interesting ones.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I also watch Carrie Kay, but she hasn't been doing a lot of. She took a bit of a break over Christmas.
Yeah, she just posted one today, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I like her as well. And the reason I like her, she buys a lot of her makeup, but she does get some PR, not a lot, but she does get it, and she's so conscientious of saying it. Like, you know, I did not buy this, but most of it she buys. And even when she's doing her declutters, it's like, this is all stuff I bought. Like,
yeah.
My opinion is my own. And,
yeah, I like that better. I don't mind if some people get PR, like we get a little bit too. But when it's 90% PR, then I'm just like, I'm just not into it, because especially if you know that's not the type of stuff that person would normally buy, right? And it's kind of like, it feels disingenuous, so I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
So
I also don't. I lost my train of thought. It has to be with people who get.
Or watching big, like I only watch small YouTubers. I think the majority that I watch have there's a few, like I still watch Elena when she reviews something, and she's got 7,000. But I would say the majority of people I watch have like from 5 to like 500 viewers or 500 subs. That's the ones that I watch the most, and then there's a few that are in the middle. But for big ones, I think I watch maybe two.
Yeah.
Like,
I also don't like this tissue mentality of reviewing makeup, where it's like next. Like they review something they got in PR. It's fabulous. I love it. This is the best part I've ever seen. And then they're on to the next thing. You never see that palette again. And then at the end of the year, they're cluttering it.
Yeah.
Without being used again. It's like.
Yeah.
It's like the amount of people that buy ColourPop and then declutter it. It makes me laugh. It's like you said, twats.
Yeah, because I notice that sometimes you'll notice it'll be like 3 or 4 brands that are like 90% of the whole declutter, and it's usually like ColourPop or Revolution or something from the drugstore. That's the stuff that all that goes. Right?
And they're understandably not the most expensive. That's why everyone's buying them. It's like they're getting that makeup fix, or that, I need to buy something. Oh, that's cheap. I get it. I understand that.
And for filming, like, you know, people want to see new stuff or whatever, right? So I get it, especially if you're trying to build a channel, but I'm trying not to do that anymore. It's like I have to really
I like your videos where you recreate a palette with what you have. I also like to see people use an old palette. Like if they're doing a get ready with me, like that's why I enjoy doing my makeup in movies, because I don't have to use a new thing.
Yeah, for sure. No, I want to do more with collections. So I did the Juvia's Price. So I'm just figuring out which one I want to do next. If I want to go really old and do like Kaleidos or Odin's Eye, or if I want to do some newer favorites like Artitude. I've got a Better Late Than Never I want to do for the color splash.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm going to use the liner one at the same time.
The liners are so great.
Yeah, so I kind of want to do that. So I definitely want to spend most of the year doing stuff like that with old stuff, like that one palette that I sent you from that new brand. And then Martha's like, can you build it? And I was like, actually I can't. Like there's maybe 2 shades in there that I would be close, but that one would be an absolute struggle bus for me to find. And that's the type of palette you want to buy, that it would be a struggle for you to build, for me to build with all the stuff that I have, because that means it's stuff that I don't have. So then that's a little bit.
And I do appreciate those videos that it's a limited edition palette, and I get why they don't use them a lot. Like just as an example, Carrie Kay always says, I don't like to use things that are limited edition because they're not available now. But I think you forget so many people have it too.
Mm-hmm. Or something similar, right? So I could. Yeah, so I could take that color splash and be like, I mean, it's still available, but if it wasn't, I can be like, it's a rainbow palette, right? So you should be, if you have a couple of them, you should be able to recreate these type of looks using this kind of yellow, this kind of orange, whatever, right? So you can use, you bought it, so if you bought it that it was limited edition or whatever, use it anyways. Or there's all those other people that bought it. You're right. Yeah.
And some of these, like you could take an orange and it might not be even close to the orange that's in a palette. But once you put the whole look on your face, you could hold up the other palette. People go, oh yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people don't see the subtle differences in tone difference, and they also don't see what's on the skin a lot of. It's different,
Yeah.
And people forget that. I have to say, watching your no-buys was a great help for me last year. I only bought 4 things last year, and 3 of them were mystery bags. This year, I'm not buying anything. I'm just not. And what's helped me with that is I'm not subscribed to any more emails. I still follow a couple of brands. I still follow Rude on Instagram. I still follow P. Louise, although lately I'm just so annoyed by P. Louise. I find everyone that works there is an idiot. And the more they talk, the more I want to punch them. Do you know what I mean?
It's very childish. I have to
say. Well, they're literally, there's this one guy there with red hair. It's like, shut up. Just shut up. You're not even wearing makeup right now. Shut up. Stop talking.
Yeah.
Oh, let's spend the day with Kimmy, and then Kimmy's just taking photos. It's like, I'm sure Kimmy's busy. Leave Kimmy alone.
Yeah. 100%.
You'd have better production photos.
Yeah.
But cool. They just come off as such vapid twats. Like, hello, darlings, today we're doing this. And
yeah, some of them are very chavtastic, I have to say.
I get it. Their space is young. I mean, I can't understand they're at least courting that.
Yeah.
Graphic for their shopping, because old people like us are going to be more smart with our shopping. Young people are going to spend their parents' money as fast as they can, and I get that, but I don't want to watch that. You know what I mean? So I cancel, not follow P. Louise as much, because also everything new that they're doing now, I don't. It's like, okay, now you're just finding new ways to package what you have.
Yeah, no, the only thing I want is that I missed, that I still have on loan from Martha, is that blue palette. That's the only thing. After all the years, that green palette would have been if I had not won it from Teresa. But that blue palette, I think out of all the years of releases, the green palette that I have and now that blue one are the 2 that were like, right?
I used the Droplet of Magic, the Black Book one.
Yeah.
The other day for the review of Drag Race, actually.
Yeah.
And, I love that palette. But I also really love the Queen Conquers, which was the first of her obnoxious palettes.
Yeah.
And I do like that I have it, but I have 3 of those now. I don't want anymore.
Yeah,
I wouldn't expect
3 too. Yeah.
I want to buy them. It's like, oh, they're so heavy. Look at them.
Well, they fit nice on the one corner where I have them. 3 fits perfectly, right? So. No, technically I'm good too, but if they release that blue one, I might be hard pressed for that one. But other than that,
I think that you don't have to explain yourself to anyone. I think that you can live your life and do what you need to do, and as long as you're not shooting kittens or puppies in the street, I think you're okay.
No, it's just my bank account that's saying no. I say yes, it says no.
Kittens and puppies, the karma wheel will spin in your favor.
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, thank you so much for such a great afternoon. This was a lot of fun. I haven't, I don't, lately doing my reviews with Wilma because she's here doing her makeup as well. We've been able to talk. Normally, I just am by myself doing all of this alone, and so I really enjoy the conversations. And
Same,
and I really appreciate you. I think you're great, and anyone that doesn't follow you on Instagram and YouTube is an idiot. And well, I just hope you have a great week. And I think you're getting a special package next week.
I know. I keep tracking it.
Where is it now? Is it near you?
Well, it hasn't updated in a few days, but it does look like it's left Toronto. So it says 23rd, but I'm hoping Monday, maybe Tuesday. I think the snow is caused problems everywhere. So
I could have sent it at a worse time.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I've got a few things to play with, and then it'll be exciting when it comes, and I'll have time to play with it. So.
Well, I'm excited too, because the worst thing, I think, as somebody who in the last few years got caught up in the zeitgeist of the makeup community, like that Glaminatrix palette I sent you, like I should never have bought that. It's not Glaminatrix fault. It just was not a me palette. I should never have bought it. And it was so expensive by the time I did get it. It's like, ugh. And I learned my lesson there. And now when I watch you and Teresa's reviews of new releases and stuff, that's where I kind of, oh, that's fun. But I'm not bothered. You know, like I think right now, the variety of stuff that I have, and I have a nice cut of companies as well. I think I've got a great representation right now. And my plan this year is to just work through it all. Like I think we collate this beautiful collection and just don't take the time to enjoy the fact that we spent this time and money and energy getting these things, and then it just sits there getting old, right? You need to because you've got 3 or 4 new things that have happened. I mean, the reason I did my haul video was because I had things from October that I hadn't really played with yet because I hadn't had time to film it. And how is that happening?
Yeah,
you know, I'm always thinking about why am I not, So that's why I'm making the hard call, and I'm going to take a step back from Drag Race for at least right now, and focus on the other things that I think are more interesting. You know.
Yeah, because you have a few of them filmed, right? You just need to edit them. So.
And the fan base that's out there for Drag Race, I find a little repugnant. It's not their fault. It's just that they're a lot younger than I am, and I also don't care. Like they seem to be getting their rent paid by these drag queens, and I am not. So I'm okay if they're idiots.
There you go. Yeah.
So blah blah blah. But anyway, all right. Have a great week. Enjoy your kitties, and I mean that in the cat mode. And until the next time I see you, thanks for joining.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Thanks everybody. Have a great week. No wooden nickels, none of that.